You got it. Yep.
All right, Shalom. All right, we're the brothers from Great Millstone, Atlanta, coming out here another weekend, week out to prophesy the downfall of America. All right, but first and foremost, we want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Double
honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, teach well, and peace, love, and salutation to you, Akim, out there that's pushing this truth. Like I said, we're out here prophesying the downfall of America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures, and bringing you the truth, man. Because for so long, you know, the truth is, starting from Abba Bivens. All right, the truth started coming out in 1969 about who we were. But before that, you had different movements. You had the Black Panther movement. You had the you had different black and brown movements. All right, you had the Black Panthers. You had the Moors with Noble Drew Ali. You had the Nation of Islam with the dishonorable Louis Farrakhan, the dishonorable Elijah Muhammad. So you had all these different movements that Jake was into. Jake, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Baptist Church. But at the end, the truth is going to come out. All right, and the truth is, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and confusion of faces, those who look like other nations, but the line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're the true sons of the living power, man. All right, so let's start with that first scripture now. First Corinthians.
This is 1 Corinthians 4, verse 9. For I think that God has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men.
Like I was saying, like all those other movements, so the 60s and 70s, all right, you know, Scientology, all these different movements, man, that Jacob was into, man. All right, the Most High set the apostles last. All right, starting with our apostles and elders and their teachers back in the day to give our people the truth, man. All right, and we're made a spectacle to this world because we're out here. Most people are enjoying their weekend. All right, they're trying to live their best life. They're at the pool. They're probably at the beach. We out here on the concrete. All right, suffering the elements to give you people the truth, man. Whether you are here or forbear. So that we're made a spectacle. You got cars going by. All right, looking at us, honking their horns. Some of them know who we are. All right, so we're made a spectacle out here. All right, to the world because we're preaching the truth. Because the truth is set forth last, man. Throughout all these movements that you see, the Pan-African, you can't forget the Kemetic science, you can't forget the Pan-African movement, and Umar Johnson, all these other guys, the Back to Africa movement. All right, after all that garbage, all right, the truth is coming out, but the truth has been here. Like I said, the truth been out since 1969, but since our apostles and elders been on YouTube since 2007, this truth has flourished, man. You know, so you got any more on that?
That was it on that.
All right, go to say that second Ezra. You know, because like I said, the truth is finally coming out, and you see the spirit and things happening, man. You might see Jake with fringes on. All right, on the way here, I saw some other Israelite camps. You know, I seen Jake reading the Bible today. You know, so I mean, the spirit of Yahweh Shemel, the spirit of the Lord is out here. All right. The people tell you that you're the Israelites. You got different camps, but there's only one camp that has the truth that's giving you 100% truth according to these scriptures. Let's start at 2 Corinthians 6:27.
Oh, you mean the second?
No, second.
Oh, second. This is 2 Esdras 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched.
And that, we're starting to see that now. You saw the so-called white man, the wicked, who could be identified in Malachi, the first chapter, I think 1 through 4, identifies who the wicked is, what nation of the people who are the wicked. It's the so-called white man, okay? Oh, no further explanation on that, because you can walk down the street. Who promotes sodomy? Who promotes lesbianism, transgenderism, pedophilia, eating abominable foods, setting the woman over the man, all right, polluting the air, putting trash in the ocean, setting you over chemtrails, giving you vaccines, all right, saying it's okay to marry a tree, saying it's okay to have sex with a tree, who's putting human blood into meat. It's Esau, the so-called white man. That fornicator in Hebrews 12 and 16. So this evil is soon to be put out. And America is about to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. That's going to be the end of Esau's age and the end of ours.
That's right.
All right. So all this corruption and evil that you see is being put out, man. You know, ever since, like I said, our business came on the scene, you start to see the decline of Esau Edom. All right.
28.
Yeah, 28.
This second Esdras 6 verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which had been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
Yeah, because we went into captivity. We went on cargo slave ships, pursuing the Deuteronomy 28 and 68. We should go into a second Egypt, okay? And that's America, because when you look at a map, when you go between Egypt and Israel, you don't take a boat there. You walk there. That's why the Israelites went through the wilderness, man. All right, they're coming out of Egypt. But this is the new Egypt. This is the new house of bondage right here, man. Where we work these long jobs. All right, we get little pay. Esau takes his money off the top when we get paid. All right, we don't own anything. We don't even own our children. If brothers do have children, you don't own them. You don't own your house. You don't own your car. All right, the deacon just did a lesson I think yesterday, about a man who got his home seized because he didn't pay $8 in taxes. All right, so we're in captivity, man. This is the worst case scenario ever, man. But the good news is the truth is coming out at the last moment, and you better get it while the getting's good, man. All right, this ain't no fly-by-night thing. This ain't no pro-black movement, man. This is the truth according to the scriptures. All right.
This is second Esdras 6 verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which had been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Verse 29. And when he talked with me, behold, I looked by little and little upon him, before whom I stood. And these words said he unto me, I am come to show thee the time of the night to come. If thou wilt pray yet more and fast 7 days again, I shall tell thee greater things by day than I have heard.
And that's how you get the understanding of the scriptures, man. You be of a contrite spirit. All right, you fast, you pray, you ask the Lord for understanding in these mysteries, and you have teachers. All right, starting with our apostles and elders. But I want to get back to that point of the truth, man, because our Lord and Savior, who the world really calls Jesus Christ, He is that truth, man. Can you get that scripture?
This is John chapter 14, verse 9. Yahweh said unto him, have I been so long time with you? This is John chapter 14, verse 6. Yahweh said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me.
Right. And he wasn't speaking to himself, man. He has a Father in the heavens named Yahweh, man. So that cuts all that Trinity garbage, man. All right. Why would he be talking to himself? That doesn't make any damn sense. But Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus Christ, is that way to salvation for the Israelites, man. All right. He is that door. All right. He is the way to us getting back to the Heavenly Father. All right. Because there's been many accounts of Israelites going to captivity. We're praying to the Lord. He gets us out. And then we keep doing the same old BS over and over again, to the point the Lord got tired of us and He cast us here. You know, we here in 2019 and in the land where our people are serving false gods, man. All right. So Yahweh Shai is that only way. It's not Jesus Christ, man. You got something?
All right, come on. This is John 10, verse 1. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber.
Yeah, you're a thief and a robber. You subscribe to this madness right here, man. Jesus and the devil, man. All right, when you subscribe to that sweet white Jesus, man, you're a thief and a robber, man. You're not coming in the right way, man. All right. You got to come up under the right doctrine of what first you gotta understand what Yahushua looks like, man. Let's go to Revelation, the first chapter, because our people, the scriptures say in Revelation, the first chapter, blessed is he who readeth, man. So we're gonna get the description of who you call Jesus Christ, man. Real name Yahushua, man. We're gonna go to 1 and 1. Just read it for me, baby.
This is Revelation 1, verse 1. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
All right, you go to verse 13. So this is basically a vision that John the Revelator saw, man. All right, and this is the accurate description of what the Lord looks like according to the Bible. Our people say, which represent you people in the chart. When I'm talking about you people, I'm talking about you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, confusion of faces. You say you know the Lord. You say you love God. You say Jesus is my will, Jesus is my co-pilot, and all the other garbage, man. But when we try to tell you the accurate description of the Lord, you say color don't matter. All right, but we're gonna get the accurate description of the Lord.
This is Revelation 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and a girt, Salakia, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle.
So as you see, like these garments we got on to the foot, long garments, man, this is what our Lord had on, man. So you can sit here and be like, oh, they got skirts on and all that madness. We're just doing we're just being imitators of Yahushua, man. All right, just like Paul said,
just
and I think it's in 1 Corinthians 11, be you imitators of me as I am of Yahushua. When you look into that word, mimetis, I think it's imitator. So we're imitating what our Lord is doing, man. We got the long garments on. He had like a girdle. You know, you imagine like Aaron Rodgers when he would score a touchdown, he would do the belt thing, the championship belt. Basically,
like the wrestling belt.
Yeah, he
or
had
boxing belt.
Yeah, like a wrestling belt on. That's what he had on, man.
This is Revelation 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So that kills out this guy right here, man. All right, this is a more accurate description right here. His hair and his head were white like wool, man. All right, who's the only people that got woolly hair? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Okay, Negroes got afros, Puerto Ricans got afros, Dominicans got afros. They got white. They got.
His car got afros.
Yeah, they got woolly hair, afro, man. That would cut this guy right here. This guy got straight hair, man. All right, he got auburn. He got an auburn beard. That don't match up with what the scriptures say.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
So his feet like unto fine brass. All right. You look up brass. Just go to a basic Google. That's all. Just go to a basic Google search. All right. You type up bronze, and here it is right here, man. You know, just the basic Google search. That's the color, man. All right, so it says, read that again.
This is Revelation 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters.
Yeah, so if brass burns in a furnace, I'm gonna get a better picture of it. You got brass.
And turn your brightness up, your phone a little bit.
Yeah, let me see what I'm trying. Basically, when you look up brass, it's derivative of brown, man. All right. You got brass, bronze, copper. This is brass right here. So basically, that burn in the furnace is gonna turn real dark brown.
Yeah, the oxidation releases.
Right.
Whatever the element of heat strikes or comes in contact with other elements, in most cases it gets darker. It doesn't get lighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
We saw lacking that.
We saw
Nah,
lacking.
but that's basically an accurate description of our Lord and Savior Yahushua, man. We can get that picture again of the yeah, go ahead. Go.
This is John chapter 7, verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
So yeah, if you believe on what the scriptures say, the accurate descriptions of our Lord and Savior, man, you're gonna have those rivers of living water, man. You're gonna understand these mysteries. That's one of the first things that you learn coming into this truth. That's one of the first things. All right, like I said, when Abba Bivens came on the scene, man, this is what he was preaching, man. He was also preaching repentance to the 12 tribes. You get Matthew 10 and Matthew 10 and 4, I believe. Yeah, Matthew 10 and 4. Because salvation, that's one of the mysteries as well. All right, salvation isn't for everybody, man. The world believes that. How the hell do you believe that you can just be the biggest degenerate and freak, but he's coming to save you? That don't make no sense. You could be a homosexual. You can eat pork. You can eat crab. You can be a complete bug out and a degenerate out here, living your best life, doing what you want to do. But then he's coming to save you. It don't work like that, man. You know. So,
This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 4. Simon the Canaanite and Judas the Iscariot. Verse 5. These 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Yeah, because like during that time, I believe going back to 2 Kings 17, when the Northern Kingdom, which represents, your so-called Puerto Ricans, your so-called North American Indians, your so-called Mexicans, they went into captivity under the Assyrians, and during that time, when they was going out to captivity, the other heathen nations came in that land. All right, so that's why Yahweh would say, go not in the way of the Samaritans. So that's obviously a division right there, man, because it's not for them. It's not for these other nations. All right, anybody that's outside the nation of Israel, all right, this who this gospel is not for, man. All right, you got people of all nations walking down the street. They get their judgment of what's going to happen to them after this kingdom, but salvation is not for them, man. That's obviously a distinction between separation, man. If you said go not into the way of the Samaritans and these other Gentiles, man. All right, that's a distinction. You got something?
Yeah, to go with what you just said. 2 Kings 17 and 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, from Cutha, from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof.
Gone. Yeah, that's what Yahweh meant in Matthew chapter 10. So you continue on.
This is verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
All right, somebody get that word lost in the blue letter box.
I got a little bit more.
You got, all right.
Yeah, a little bit more. We just read into how he sent them to Samaria. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed in the city of Samaria know not the manner of the power of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them. And behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the power of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the power of the land, which was the Levites. Then one of the priests whom they carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the house of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. That's really the main point.
Yeah, that's the reason why Yahweh once again went out to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man, because Israel kept going off and worshiping these other gods to the point where the Lord, they had these heathens in our land, but once again, that land isn't for them. You got this imposter right now that's in our land. So, going back to the scripture, go back to want to get that word lost because this is who this gospel's for. Those who are lost, those who call themselves. Somebody got that word lost.
I got it.
Yeah.
This is Lost, Matthew chapter 10 verse 6. The Strong's Light G622. Apollyon. Apollyon. To destroy, to put out of the way entirely. That's what they did with the Syrian Empire. Put it into ruin, render useless.
The ruin, that's a heavy one right there. To break up into basically ruins. Like you'll look at these different cities, like if you look at a vanquished building, you know, it was fully furnished, it was fully in operation and shop. But when it's in ruins, what happens? Everybody runs out of the area. You know, they might shut down the business under certain particular chapter, and all the merchandise is basically sold. And us being the merchandise, we represent the merchandise of the building. The building represents the kingdom of heaven or Israel, Yasha'Allah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that. Trust brother, get that right quick.
It got demolished and liquidated.
Liquidated.
You know, sitting in the wrecking crew. That's why when you read Psalms 137, and the Babylonians came in to take down the southern kingdom, it reads about Esau said, erase it. Meaning to what? Erase it. You know, destroy it, break it down. You know,
That's it.
and that's what happened to Israel.
It's Joel chapter 3. Let's start. Let's go to Joel 3 and 4. Yeah, they started Joel 3 and 4 just to
Break it
break
down.
up that point.
God, now you talking
This is
about-
Joel 3 verse 4. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, as I done?
We'll start from 3.
This is Joel 3 verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and had given a boy for a harlot. So like, let me read that again. This is Joel 3 verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
That's what happened during the transatlantic slave trade. All right, and then if you come here, you learn the ways of your oppressors. You're gonna be lost, man. You're gonna be ruined. You're gonna be destroyed, man. You're gonna learn everything like your slave master told you, man. Like how to eat pork. You know, to read his version of his interpretation of the scriptures. You know, servants obey your masters and all that other nonsense. Man. So you're gonna be ruined. In a hundred, the next generation basically, right? And that continues on and on and on, man. You know, to the point that we're in 2019. You know, our people celebrate July 4th, man. You know, we were in that Gentile mind state, but all right, the truth that we brought out in that first scripture. All right, the truth sprung upon us, man. And we got those rivers of living water, man. We know. We're still learning, but we're learning on the fly, and we're learning not the way of the heathen, man. All right? Yes,
God. This is Joel 3 verse 4. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre, and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
Payback, man.
Verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Verse 6.
That's the point right there, all right? We're those goodly things, man, all right? That's what we are, the Israelites, but we're lost, man. You know, that's what the gospel's for. Read that Matthew 10, 6 once again.
I still got that. I got another definition. Metaphorically, the word lost in the Greek, metaphorically, to devote or give over to eternal misery and hell. And that's what we.
Eternal misery and hell.
And that's what we in now.
That's what we in right now. Like I said, Deacon did his lesson yesterday about a man that got his house seized for $8 because he didn't pay back taxes, man. That's hell, man. All right. It's literal hell too, man. Because like last week the temperatures was off the chain. All right, temperatures like. Man, I can't even explain, man. It's too hot to think. But we're in literal hell right now, man. We're in our land of our oppressors, man. That's what this gospel's for, to find out the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
The house of Israel, man, not any other nation, not the Moabites, not the Ammonites, because you can find the table of nations in Genesis, the 10th chapter, man. All right, people say in God we trust, and you have to believe that God set up these other nations. He didn't set up black, he didn't set up white, he didn't set up Chinese, he didn't set up Japanese. All right, he set up 18 nations with the Israelites, the people you see out here prophesying at the top, man. All right.
And as ye go, preach saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Yeah, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, man. Our salvation is at hand, man. Like it says in Romans, the 13th chapter, man. And all the prophecies are unfolding, like leading up into that salvation. The earthquakes in diverse places. You had an earthquake today in Alaska. It was like 100 miles off the mainland of Alaska. It was like a 4.7. You had an earthquake in the Philippines today. You got uproars of the people. This is like like 45 with the yellow vest protests in France.
I did.
All right, they got the black protests, the black vest protests in France with the immigrants.
I don't even have you.
You got riots still going on in Sudan. You still got uproars in Haiti from a month ago. All right, you still got what's going on in Venezuela with the food shortage, desperation.
Just had that big riot in Puerto Rico. They said damn near 600,000 people came out to protest against the governor, and I think the mayor resigned.
Yeah,
Resigned out of office.
He resigned because I perceive he was in the right spirit, man, because he was talking about these women being out of order.
Yeah,
and he was talking about these homosexuals. But my main man Rosello was doing his damn thing, man. But you freaks down there in Puerto Rico, you lost sheep. All right, you so-called Puerto Ricans from the tribe of Ephraim. All right, you got a long history of just going slap off, man. Yeah. Now you go. Now what's next, nigga? What's next for Puerto Rico? Here it is. You had Hurricane Maria that devastated your land, and you still trying to reclaim it. But you get mad over what this mayor said, this governor said that was in the right spirit.
About the immorality, man.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why the Lord sent shark. It's a video online down there in Puerto Rico where like hammerhead sharks were coming up on land, biting their ass. Like hammerhead sharks don't like that.
And then too, the guy that they replaced him with, that resigned, the guy they replaced him with, they protesting about him.
Yeah.
That was what, like this morning? Yeah. It's all like the past 2 days.
So I mean, you see uproars of the people and earthquakes, man.
Yeah.
Those are signs leading up to the Lord coming back, man. All right. Yahushua coming back, man. Not sweet white Jesus, man. All right. Continue on.
This is verse 8. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers.
Right.
This is verse 7. And as ye go, preach saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give.
I think they're gonna do away with that shit. Them just
We got a form of spiritual powers right now, man. All right, it's gonna manifest into us, like he really healing the sick and raising up the dead. All right, Lord willing. Well, right now we're doing that right now, raising up the dead, man. The spirits of dead. The valley of dry bones in Ezekiel 37, man. Yeah, because like I said, we were all in that mind state. All right, some of us 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, was just like these people out here, smoking Newport 100s in the box. All right, smoking weed, eating abominable food, wearing Jesus pieces, going to church, falling asleep at church because we was born. All right, following the ways of the heathen, man. But we woke up, and now we're in a like mind as our apostles and elders are doing, waking up like-minded men.
This Titus 3:3. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving diverse lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful, and hating one another. But after that, the kindness and love of the Most High, our Savior toward man appeared, not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy, he saved us by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit.
I think it's Lamentations 3:22. Because the Lord basically is having mercy upon us, man, by giving his word. All right?
Soft cake.
I mean, to see where we came from, and then to now, I mean, it is mercy, man. You know, we're not consumed out here like these other folks, man, because judgment is happening day in and day out, man. The more this word goes out, best believe when we get done preaching here and other brothers preaching in other areas, judgment is going to go out, man, because our people here forbear this word, man. They walk up and down the street, they look at us like we crazy, all right? But they're actually the crazy ones, man. All right, when all hell breaks loose, they're gonna be looking crazy. All right, because there's gonna be martial law in the streets. There's gonna be curfews. The RFID chip, is the mark of the beast, is gonna be unleashed on the people. It's already here, man. You got articles from you got Nate Satan talking about this June ain't no microchip. Man, you got articles from 2008 talking about prisons chipping prisoners. So it's been here, man. It just hasn't been made mandatory yet.
Yeah, the big thing with Elon Musk talking about Neuralink?
Neuralink.
Shipping and merging man with the machine. And you got tons of movies.
Man, that show on HBO Years to Years. With a chick where she had it in her phone.
Oh, she was like,
and she said, call me. And she answered with a, man, that show you the chip technology, man.
I thought it was just a commercial.
Oh, no, that's a series.
Oh,
no, that's a show.
You gotta watch
I need
that
to watch
shit.
that.
Because in the show, the chip, it goes from a place of to the point where she's basically she's so transhuman to the point where and they show as it fast forwards and proceeds year to year. Next thing you know, she's able to look at you, close her eyes and snap a picture. And then with a wand of her hand, send the picture, send it to you.
Oh,
she's completely into the whole system, man.
Yeah, they got that now. The contacts, they just developed the contacts, which they want to put them on the market. Contacts that can actually record and take pictures. You know, Google's behind it, but they that information. I mean, it came out years ago, but it came they've updated it within the last month or two.
Yeah, she had a Bluetooth speaker in her hand.
So fuck.
That shit was there. That show you gotta watch that shit.
Yeah,
that's
man.
crazy.
That show was.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this.
This is Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22. It is of the Lord mercies that we have not consumed, because his compassions fail not.
Yeah, the Lord's having compassion on us right now. Lord, when he does, when this mark of the beast comes, the hour of temptation. All right, because it's coming soon. All right, that's why you got to take heed to the word. That's why you got to get this truth. Because you will be caught off guard. All right, that chip is mandatory because these other camps, not to get on these other camps like that, but they're preaching that the RFID chip is a spiritual mark. Well, you already got it in your phone. You already got the mark of the beast. It's already in your phone and all the other breakdowns. Yeah, in your credit card, it's embargo, sleeping with white women, whatever doctrine they got out this week about the mark of the beast. You know, it's best to take heed to the truth, man, because you're gonna end up being lost, man. You're gonna end up being destroyed.
But you know what, brother? Like how you say, with that show year to year, literally at the drop of a dime, all the plays, all that bullshit's gonna go out the window because it's gonna become reality. Like they show you in a show where basically how everybody was round about a dinner table having a dinner party, and then the horns went off. Then it ain't play no more. Now it's green. So if you think that it's not the chip, you're gonna be forced. It's gonna be shoved in your face. Everything that you saying everything that you taking away from the scriptures, you're gonna meet head first, man.
Well, that's the Amos 5.
Yeah.
And then shall meet a band in line, meaning these calamities are going to hit you back to back.
You think Esau's not the devil? You're gonna see it.
Yep.
This is Revelation 3, verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
It's all the world, man. So for them jokers that say the mark of the beast is Christianity, what if you were a Muslim, man? What if you were like a Hindu, a Buddhist? You know, if the mark of the beast is Christianity, why?
Our vocab say it's sin.
Yeah. That's IUIC says the mark of the beast is sin.
Why did John the Revelator write about it for the last days? Sin has been since the beginning.
Right, people been sinning.
People been sinning.
Cain, the Lord told Cain, sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door.
So sin, You know what I'm saying? If sin is the mark of the beast, what was that to reveal? You know?
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's talking about an actual device.
Yeah, that's why I said it's the mark pertaining. The key word is of the beast.
Meaning carnal.
Of the beast is something that's pertaining to, is branded by this beast system. And if you see, you know, in Europe, all throughout America, of course the EU and NATO, these different nations are pushing towards a biometric style of life, and the beast really represents the whole system, man. You know, we talk about from America all the way over to the Asiatic lands. And China, it's getting worse and worse. There's more forms of registration, you know, biometric forms of registration with that credit-based system. You know, it's damn near impossible to maneuver and leave the country with bad credit. You see, so they're going to take it to the form of more mandates, and there's going to be more implications to the point where it's physical imprints within yourself. And you see, the government is going to push towards that same narrative because what? They're gonna come up with more false flags. They're gonna come up with more conspiracies. They already just passed this legislation to basically crack down on whistleblowers. So if individuals even speak about the mark of the beast, speak about all these different things and conspiracies of such, then they're gonna do away with them, and then they're gonna start chipping people. That's a major thing that's being talked about in the news and various other things, but it's gonna be imposed upon the people, imposed upon the masses from your job, you know.
We're through the spirit, we're the real whistleblowers because we expose Esau on all levels, man. All right, and pretty soon he's gonna shut down YouTube, and you're not gonna get these breakdowns of the mark of the beast being the chip, man. You're not gonna be able to sit down with some popcorn and some sparkle water and watch some videos and get entertained. This ain't about entertainment, man. This is about salvation is on the line, man.
Put up a rap video instead of
making rap videos
instead of a lesson.
Yeah, I mean,
do a lesson,
the
man.
antics and the gimmicks is getting played out, man.
Right.
You know, it's coming down to the wire right now, man. Shit's getting real for real out here, man. You know, Jay want to be in that father spirit, but that's on them, man. You know, we gonna keep out here teaching you the truth according to the scriptures, man. You know, Lord, when we be in that number, man? I mean, who else is out here week in, week out giving you sound doctrine, man? Telling you what it is, letting you know before it happens, man.
Hey, somebody got to be the prophets.
Yeah. You bring it.
This is Revelation 13, verse 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
That mark goes to that Greek word man, which means, pale, a marking, a badge of the stamp of the anti-Christ, Christ, so to speak, anti-anointed. So if you take that badge, you take that chip, you're basically anti-anointed, man, anti-Christ.
And it clearly can't be money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, yeah, that's another.
We've already used the money. Like, what the?
Yeah.
You know, which proves that they too busy trying to say it's not instead of reading the scripture and the prophecy how it's written. It says, and he causes everybody to receive this mark. It can't be sin because sin already has already been amongst the hearts of men.
And first of all, the nations don't clearly technically sin.
Right. And sin is a transgression of the law, which the law was only given to Israel. Okay. And then it can't be, like the brother said, it can't be it can't be an embargo, none of that stuff, because the mark has to be something specifically that the beast is going to introduce. The system has to introduce it as a new thing, which is why when you read the verses up in 14 and 15, it says he deceiveth them by way of the miracles. Okay? Christianity ain't a damn miracle. That's not something new and improved. You don't put a gold sticker on that and say, here, this is new and improved. No. But that chip, that's never been done before.
Yeah. On the left-hand side, Esau's using it for all types of miracle
medical breakthroughs.
Medical breakthroughs.
Yeah, you got all these things coming out with basically, heart removal, all kind of different parts of the body, so to speak, being removed or being replaced with some form of machinery, man.
Yeah.
You know, and actually people actually having capabilities and they're still living with those machine parts within their body.
That's right.
So they're gonna take the steps further, man. They're gonna take the steps further to the point where, all right, we're just gonna put a microchip in you.
Right.
That microchip can register your blood pressure. You'll know when your blood pressure is getting high. You can actually see it on a database. You can see your sugar levels. You can see what type of intake, what type of mineral deficiencies you may actually possess. Because Jake don't know those things.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're low on iron or selenium, magnesium. First off, Jake don't know what the fuck magnesium is.
Can't spell it.
You know, can't even spell it. And then they don't know where to get it from. So, you know, those, you know, it's a lot of things. Really, the chip technology, it's damn near, you know, it's damn near the next wave of technology. You see, the shit that we got, Jake be all, you know, blown away by the newest iPhones, the touch screen, you know, the retina, and all these different, you know, little things that come with the technology. But this stuff is still minimal.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, that stuff is still low vibration compared to the chip that's gonna come out.
And what
That
they
chip
say,
gonna have a lot of capabilities to it, man.
Yep. And then they say the next step, right next to the RFID chip, is going to be the Apple Card. And all these, you know, Visa, MasterCard, all these companies, they're all behind it. All these financial institutions. What is the CEO of Bank of America says he wants to go cashless.
Right.
Everybody wants to go cashless.
Right.
Okay. It was an article I saw this morning where it says, "Is America going cashless?" And the answer is yes. This whole society is moving towards the convenience of digital transactions, buying and selling, and interaction. People already do peer-to-peer
purchases
peer-to-peer purchases, Cash App. That's peer-to-peer purchase transactions.
or transactions, yeah.
You know, so next step is the microchip.
Or look at India.
Yep, India. You know.
And I was
Tap
gonna
the
say this
smartphone.
Last thing, and when you go into that word charagma, it's located one other location in the scriptures. There's only two places that are, because the word charagma, breaking it down, it goes into charax, which means, like you said, a stake, and an imposing or imprint,
Cutting, etching,
incision,
into-
you know,
yeah.
anything to stake within. And it's also located in Luke. This is Luke 19, and I'll start at 43. It says, "For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee around, and keep thee in on every side."
Right, so that word karax, when you look up that word trench, it means karax. Because just like when somebody lays trenches, you know, they dig within.
Yeah.
You know, they dig within and they stake out. A lot of times they'll set barricades within the border, like fences. A fence would be a trench.
A silk fence.
And you do what? You dig within the earth and you impale it within, so it could be secured or fastened, and it'll be unbreakable or unpenetrable, so to speak.
Right, and that happened in 7 AD. That's what they're talking about. 7 AD, when the Romans came and besieged Jerusalem, they entrenched round about Jerusalem. They cut off Masada. They cut off food supply, anything going in or anything trying to get out. They cut it off, right? And then even in the construction world, you got that. You got something called benching, right? And they bench, you know, basically is they pull the ground back so you can have layers. You know, you have layers going around like a hole, a deep hole, and then you gotta
I'm looking for a boxing gym that used to be located somewhere on the street. Yep.
Nah, probably just gotta look it up on Google Maps.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
bro. Yeah, but and then like the brother mentioned, they'll put a silk fence around the around the ditch. You got to stake it in because you don't want nobody to fall off. That's OSHA codes.
And what's the new thing? What's the modern day way of staking and fencing around the people? Is the chip? Because what? Chip is going to be a major form of security.
Well, I was going to say that privacy and security concerns is a big topic going into world policy because of the whole cybersecurity
Facebook. They just got sued for like 5 billion or something.
Or the election saying that Trump meddled in the, like you hear stuff on it, but you gotta
Russia
see how
and the thing with Pornhub and the facial scans. They say all those things. You know, you get on these different websites, and basically Russia's retrieving all your data, man.
Oh yeah, the face app.
The face app to make you look old.
Yeah. Like what? You can see what I look like every Saturday.
Yeah, so you know that's a big thing, that security, man. And they're gonna go to very high measures to make sure that each and every individual of the government is registered fully with the government. That's why now what's the big thing? Throwing goddamn Mexicans out of the country, man.
Yeah.
Just to bring them back in.
And if they want to be citizens, it's gonna come to the point. If you want to be a full citizen, then you're gonna have to get shipped.
Yeah, they might not have no more seasons.
And look, I can say too about the security. Esau's real big on psychology. So, and then one thing that Esau knows is through what is a term called groupthink. So they know that if there's 10 million people in the city of Atlanta, let's just say, and 7 of those 10 go get the chip, you're gonna look crazy for not getting it. Right. Just off of the strength of you not doing it, is gonna make you look like an enemy. So that's gonna play against you anyway, because it's like, well, what do you have to hide?
Right.
It's you know why are you so secretive? And that's gonna mark you as a person. That's another defensive mechanism to cause you to jump in line. Because people can't take no pressure.
Oh hell no.
Man, these people
Pressure bust.
This is
Bust people.
2 Corinthians 2, verse 11.
Oh yeah.
Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
That's what we coming out here with the truth, man. Because we're not ignorant of his devices, man. All the things that the brothers were saying, going into how due to recent measures and pressure from above, pressure from below, all right, the chip is going to be implemented, man. So we're not ignorant of his devices. You got brothers with different viewpoints on how it's going to come about through the spirit. So we're not ignorant of what's going on out here, man. All right, we know what time it is according to the scriptures, man. We know that mark of the beast is going to be implemented. And like Apostle Tahar says, these other camps that don't preach it, they're going to bug out when it comes out, man.
Yeah, and even let's even deal on an entertainment ring, on an entertainment platform. You know, the gaming systems that we have, they still could be updated. They still could be modified, and it's gonna come to the point of what? Biometrics. You know, virtual reality. They had the virtual reality. Yeah, the VR headsets.
Yep.
And I was talking to Jake on the job. You know, he a gamer. He one of them big antisocial niggas that stay in a room and
drink Mountain Dew all day.
His best friends is online. You know everybody goddamn online, but in the real world, he don't know any damn body. But
gamer tag.
Yeah, gamer tags and avatar.
Yeah.
But I was like, how you feel about virtual reality? You went to the virtual reality. He's like, man, I ain't worried about that shit. He's I'm ready for the real thing where I can plug in. I was like, see, he gonna take the chip.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm ready for the real thing. He's like, man, to hell with putting the shit on your head. He's like, I'm trying to be inside the game. I'm trying to be in the game.
Trying to be in USS McAllister.
Yeah.
Right. That's that. Yeah.
He's trying to get shot in the game and feel it in real life, man.
Right. That's the they show you that. And what's that the movie that came out, Ready Player One? That's that joint. Right? It had another anime back in the day, Dahak sign, where you could basically put on you can be in the game. You can't, and the man couldn't log out. You know?
They put a chip in Denzel Washington when he entered into that game. I forgot that dude. He played on that movie with Jamie Foxx.
What was the movie about?
The movie was about him getting out of jail, but he had to play this game. He had to go into virtual reality, basically.
It was an old movie?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. If I think of the name,
I forgot the name.
Yeah, it's an older movie, 20 years ago.
But he got his time lesson by taking that chip.
Damn, that
Into
dude's
that virtual reality.
I gotta go back.
It's everywhere, man.
Everywhere.
Even they showed
Yeah, he was in
back in the day, man, like Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Total Recall. They showed in that Goody Mob video, the cell therapy video. So they've been showing, man. But
Fifth Wave.
Yeah, the fifth wave. They showed in all types of movies, man. He saw Purge. He saw the Purge. Yeah, the Purge when they had to put that lens into their eye so they could go out and start purging people.
Yeah, she slid a chip to each and every one of the convicts.
Right.
Well, like you want to get out and be free. We're gonna have to track you. And that's the same thing, you know.
Oh, Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, come on. You got another preset?
Handmaid's Tale.
Matter of fact, yeah, go ahead. You got something?
Oh yeah. This is Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, verse 10, this is Revelation 14, verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb.
When he comes back, man, it's best interest not to take the mark of the beast. It's in your best interest not to join the military either, man. Because you're gonna get that chip if you join the military. All you jakes out here, all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they prey on you like these malls. They prey on you like these schools to join the military because you don't have anything, you don't have a pocket piss in or a window to throw it out of. So they're recruiting you the numbers, and then when the draft come back, you have no choice. All right.
Yeah, there was an article that came across my my notifications today about a soldier that was announced dead at war or whatever, but he really wasn't dead. But then he came back home or whatever, and then his life moved on because he was pronounced dead. His woman probably left him, remarried, but here he is, he's alive. It's like he said, the military, they're gonna start chipping people because the war is gonna get more intensified. So we know where your body is, we just gonna put this black box on your ass.
Right.
So we can instantly know that you're dead through a chip. When the chip recognizes your vitals aren't working no more,
It's gonna shut off.
they shut off, we can find the body. So
Retrieve the
they're
chip,
gonna make the soldiers take the chip just off the strength of locating the body, knowing where you are.
Yeah.
They show you that in fifth wave where they
Like you said, or the chip might stay on just to track you,
Right.
so they can locate your body.
yeah.
And then they had that Liberian that came up to the Great Millstone Los Angeles camp like 3-4 years ago who had the chip, different parts of his body, man. So it's already out there, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it's in your best interest not to take the chip, man. You jakes out there trying to go into the military, don't
Shit, it's
do
life
it.
or death. Don't take that
Yeah,
chip.
it's life or death, man.
Life or death,
You're
baby.
gonna be fighting your Lord and Savior. All right, pursuing the second Ezra 13, man.
Oh, you had that faggot ass rapper, which he was only heard of because he said he took a chip. I don't even know the nigga's name. He was so irrelevant.
Kid Boo or something.
Kid Boo.
Yeah, Kid Boo. Yeah.
And where the fuck is he now? You know?
Yeah, really.
Right.
He's
That shit's probably a lie. And maybe he do got it, but whatever.
yeah. Well,
Hey, where is he?
Right.
It's a good ass question.
yeah. You see Jake's trying to trend because they know it's something that's evil, and see the vibration on Jake now is Satanism.
Right.
You know, they pushing. You know, a lot of these Jakes be having an upside down cross in the middle of their head. They'll have pentagrams all over their damn body. You know, and hey, even that faggot, Lil Uzi Vert, on the concert, he was talking about, all y'all going to hell with me. He was like, nah, don't try to leave now. Don't try to, he's like, nah, all y'all gonna go to hell with me. Because basically he's saying that he's pushing the agenda of Satan, man. So these different rappers is gonna corral the masses to start taking chips. In order to actually see this rapper, you have to have a chip registration. You see? All these tickets and all that style is barcodes on the ticket, all that's gonna be done away with, man. It's gonna be mandatory chipping. Like I said, the mandating of technology is gonna increase.
Yeah, like
They did that with your houses years ago, remember? It was mandated that you had to go from analog to digital.
Yeah. I
Had
remember
to
that.
do it.
That was with Obama. When Obama, when his first 4 years in office, you had to basically get, had a box, digital box.
They used the excuse of what? Emergency broadcasting, you had to be up to
Right.
date. So what better way of making sure your ass get emergency broadcast by taking your ass from analog to digital?
They got it in these hot rises too. Swipe the key badge over the door.
Oh, they're gonna be the first ones to take the chip.
oh,
In your car.
Oh, if you want to move in this building, you must have a chip.
yeah.
Should have an episode on Black Mirror Nosedive. You're gonna have to have a certain level.
Your ass out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a certain level of in this system to be able to live in a place. I don't give a damn how much money you have. It don't even matter no more.
Even go to your favorite sporting events, because down there in Tampa Bay, I think it's called Tropicana Field. They went Cassis.
I think the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is cashless.
Yeah.
I think it's cashless now too.
Yeah, it's cashless now.
Get on the
They don't even
plane.
take cash no more.
You know the black woman loves traveling. All right. Get on the plane. You gotta have a chill. You go to your favorite sporting events. All right. Everybody's
Down in
gonna be hip on the chip.
Brazil, all the soccer sporting clubs,
Yep.
all the events and venues, they are RFID, cashless, and chip.
I got a precept.
We in that time, man. No, you go ahead.
It's Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
Hey, can we get that definition of shadow in that verse right there?
Yeah,
I
Isaiah
think it
31:1.
Yeah. I forgot what it means, but it pertains to I think it's protection. But let's look it up just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, because like a cover, you know, a shadow is basically a reflection, and you overcover your shadow, so to speak. You know, like if a shadow is actually over you, or like the sun, you know, is looming over you, and that's what the people trust in. They trust in the federal government, which the word govern is the rule, and meant goes into your mind. They trust in the government that rules over their mind to push them in a safe direction. But the government is effing them over, man. They have the protocols of Zion. They have Georgia Guidestones. The leaders are their whole mission is predicated upon keeping the oppressed, man.
That's right.
Keeping the sicker. They're not trying to restore the sick to health. It's all kind of articles that came out about how AIDS and HIV was man-made, syphilis, chlamydia, gonorrhea. A lot of these diseases and poisons that a lot of people possess, they've been created in a damn laboratory by the devil and pushed out to the masses, mainly to the black and Latin neighborhoods, man. You got that?
Let's repeat that one. Okay. I got to pull it back.
And this is trust in Isaiah 31. It's batak, and it goes into to trust in, to have confidence, be confident, to be bold, to be secure, to cause to trust, make secure, to feel safe, be careless.
Yeah, man, that's the definition, man. Because our people are bold in this government, even though Trump has shut down food stamps. Hey, that's another thing, man. For you women out here, man, that want food stamps, you gotta take the chip, man. All these government assistance and all these government programs, that's just through the government. You're gonna have to take the chip, man. You know, but our people trust in the government, man. They trust that everything's gonna be all right. Matter of fact, when Esau brings the next terrorist attack, it's gonna be just like 9/11, man. Everybody's gonna be glued to TV. All right, everybody's gonna say, "Oh, we're all Americans." What happened to that, man? What happened to us? All us being so-called Americans, we all together. People went back to hate each other the week after, man.
Next day?
Yeah, the next day, man. All that American bullshit, man. But our people put trust in this place, and it's gonna be their demise and their ruin, man. You can see it right. You see it every day, man. They just wait for the government to take care of them, man. You know. That's the one. That's the one.
Can you want that?
Yeah.
Con, this is Isaiah 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
That word shadow just to close on out, man. Because our people trust in the shadow of Egypt, and they trust whatever the so-called white man tells them, man. All right? all of a sudden gay marriage during your boy Obama's administration was legalized in 2015. Now everybody wants to be a sodomite now. You know, are people trusting whatever's given to them out here, man?
I got a precept for you.
This is Micah 7, Micah 7:5. And it says, trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. And the point here is, put ye not confidence in a guide. And the government is set up to do what? Guide us through these different situations. Any little skirmish or things that happen, what our people put our trust in it. If they hear any ruffles in the trees behind the back door, they call the police.
Yeah.
Anything that has any troubles to them, they think it's just as simple as picking up the phone and sitting in the comfort of their house and making a phone call. But that's confidence placed in something that's against you. So these people, they're gonna realize the hard way that none of this. And Jake gotta be a faggot to still be blasting that shit.
What the fuck was that?
What was that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, big fact, man. Supposed to ban that shit.
All right, we're gonna
That shit come on the radio, man. You supposed to turn the radio station.
We're gonna get one more definition, man. For let the
Might as well be listening to
next
Mexico.
man. That word,
Shadow.
yeah, shadow.
All right, this
well.
Tazallah.
Yeah, talk about it.
Con, this is the word shadow from Isaiah 30:2. In the blue letter, it's Tazallah, and it goes into shadow, shade, shade as protection. And it says shadow on dial. Shadow symbolic of transitoriness of life. Well, symbolic of transitoriness of life, but it goes into protection.
Yeah. That's everything's deal to the chip, man. So I'm just letting another brother play for the spirit.
What was that you was holding there?
Isaiah 32.
Okay, you can have to hold that. Read that again. Isaiah 32. But just like the brother was saying, you know, the shadow represents the protection. As we know, you know, we are protected, you know, as citizens by right by the government. But see, Jake believes that wholeheartedly, man. That's why you pay what? You pay federal taxes. Every check that you actually work for, you're paying a particular federal tax, paying a particular state tax, and these different taxes are funded for your protection. For when the government goes to war, you don't have to so-called stand on the front lines personally. If you're a so-called citizen, you have the military that you're financing, all right, or you have certain particular federal industries or you know state officials and things of that nature that people trust in, their mayors, their governors. That's where all the taxpayers' money goes towards, and they believe that these individuals are going to lead them to safety wholeheartedly, man. Not knowing that the government, as they know it, is going to turn on them as they did in the ancient world. When we was under the government of Rome, you had Jake, all right, believe that the Roman government was fully formed, where they said we have no king but Caesar.
That's right.
And that same government kicked their asses out during the expulsion of Rome. That was legislation. Kick these niggas out of their communities. You had the siege of Masada. You had all these different events that took place, which you have the Ark of Titus as a memorial to show that that the so-called white man has resentment towards you. And those Romans, those same that same stock of devils, they live here. That same seed line of the wicked, they're the rulers in today's time, because there's something, of course, according to the Bible, known as reincarnation. All right, spirits don't never die; they always come back within a specific amount of time. All right, you can read that over.
I got something for you.
Oh, you got something? Go ahead, bro. Bring out what you got there.
This is Ecclesiasticus 12:10. And it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Yeah.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Yeah, so the Bible tells us without a shadow of a doubt that we have enemies and to never trust them, meaning never to embrace them closely. All right? Because they're known as backstabbers, man. And how many times has the government stabbed the blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in the back? Countless.
Yeah, you can't
Before the government was actually even known as the United States of America, when they got their independence in 1776. All right, was that July the 4th? You see, prior to 1776, you blacks, and even in 1776, you blacks was in hardcore slavery, man. Getting raped, getting buck broken, the men and the women. All right, getting experimented on through different forms of science.
Torture for sport.
Torture for sport. And that's in the United States. That's even in the Brazil. That was on the islands in Jamaica and things of that nature. You know. And like I said, it's not just you blacks, it's you Latinos and Native Americans too. Y'all caught a great deal of hell, man. You got your nationality stripped from you, and you got it renamed upon, and you got an identity of things that don't even exist. All right, black. That's a color, man. They called you Haitian. That just means hell. They called you Colombian. You Colombians were named after the damn Christopher Columbus, man, which was a conqueror.
The ultimate colonizer.
The ultimate colonizer.
The colonizer.
Even the term Hispanic and Latino, which I was going into that this week. You know, the Hispanics call themselves Hispanic, and when you go deeper to the word, you know, Latino, it just means, okay, a Latin speaker that's
right.
from or Hispanic. When you go into the word Hispanic, it goes into Hispaniola. All right, which that name was, of course, coined to them by the Spanish conquerors. And when you go into going to Hispaniola or Hispanic, that name goes back to the Spain, which the Carthaginians, they named that land Spain, which just means land of the rabbits, because I think it was abundant and actually rabbits. And even when you look at Hispaniola, how it looks, just the map outline, it looks like a goddamn rabbit, man. But that's not a people.
Yeah, right.
You know, these Hispanics call themselves Hispanic and Latino. When you trace it all the way back to its origin, it doesn't go back to a particular people. It goes back to the colonizer. It goes back to the consuls. Right?
Hispaniola, that's really the island of Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't even pertain to all of the Latin tribes. That really only pertains to Levi and Simeon over there.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah, so Haitians are really more Hispanic than the rest of you. If anything,
right,
on an island base, because like we said, Hispanic isn't even a people, man. If you want to really be, basically, if you want to hit it home, really Haitians are more Hispanic than the rest of you Latin tribes, than you Mexicans, than you Puerto Ricans, you Argentinians. Yep. Because your land was never even called Hispaniola.
Right.
You got
come. Reading on in Sirach 12 and 11, and it says, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
Right, and the so-called white man is a rusty, crusty devil, man. All right, what does it say? Can the leopard change his spots? Right. All right, can the crooked be made straight? And it says no, neither him that's always accustomed to evil to do good. The so-called white man is accustomed to do evil since the inception. You know, as the saying goes, from the womb to the tomb.
Yep.
When the so-called white, look at it in song, was that Psalm 55, the wicked are estranged?
John,
Okay. It might be Psalms 50. Estranged from the womb, speaking lies.
58 and 3.
About 58.
God, this is on Psalms 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb.
Now, who is the wicked? All right, when you go to the book of Malachi, it's the first chapter. It says that Esau's border will be known as wickedness. And when you go to First Maccabees, the first chapter, when the Greeks came into power, what it said, that wickedness increased on the earth. So the wicked is the Edomites. All right, whatever they call themselves. All right, whether they call themselves Grecians, whether they call themselves Romans, whether they call themselves Italians, because just like they put all these different false names on us, they put all kind of false names on them. There's no such thing as a truly an Italian,
a French,
or a French, all right, or Spanish, or Dutch, or Portuguese. When you look into all these different words, they really don't mean anything. It was one devil that made it up, He maybe was named after something, or somebody named it, and then they just put that name on the masses of the people in that country.
Yeah.
And the people that recolonized it or that conquered the land, they started to call themselves that same thing.
Yep.
But like the brother said earlier, you got to go to Genesis, with the 10th chapter, to go to the table of nations to see the true origins. Because nationalities aren't determined by one man just putting a name on it. Nationality is determined by seed line. All right? And the name has to be stamped divinely through the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
But the so-called white man, when he came into power, he basically set himself up as God. All right, that land no more is not the land of Ham. Let's name it Africa, after Leo Scipio Africanus. Let's name this land Asia after Leo Scipio Asiaticus. All right, let's name this land Europe after it goes back to Europa. All right, let's name this land Greece. Let's name this land Rome after Romulus and Remus. Which that was a mythological story.
Right.
A lot of those European names, that's all that goes back to mythology, man. Yeah. You see? But the Grecians or the Edomites, you know, they truly are the wicked. The Grecians go back to Esau. The Romans go back to Esau. The Spanish go back to Esau. All right, through particular sons. So continue on.
God, it says they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Yeah, so they stray off. They stray off the mark of righteousness because they aren't righteous. Speaking lies, which is the tongue of deception. What does it say in Psalms? How their tongue goeth all throughout the earth? The tongue represents influence. And the scriptures speak about the power of the tongue.
Yep.
Esau bribed and destroyed worlds mainly through the tongue, man. Because he has the gift of gab. That's really his one of the weapons that he actually has.
That's why he loves rap music.
Yeah, rap music. Which I remember the Elder Yashwamba went into how the original gangster, the originator of gangster rap, is really Esau.
Yeah, the two-ball and
Two-ball king.
Two-ball king. Yeah.
Yeah, and what does it say? He was a murderer from the beginning. The first person to really even push and promote murder is Esau.
Yeah.
You know, Jake talk about shooting each other down and even stealing each other's women. Who was the first one to actually push that and promote it on a high magnitude? The so-called white man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the son of perdition. When you watch these different slave movies, you will see gangs of the good old boys that would gang rape women, man. They would take one or two black women, it might be 17, 18 devils on them, man. Gang rape them. And it might be somebody's wife in most cases.
Most cases, yeah.
She might get pregnant and she might have a tear. And guess what? She has to take care of that child, and he has to take care of that child. You see? And what happens if the man is in a rage and he wants to kill the child, which the scriptures tells you that in Sirach, to kill the woman that commits adultery, which of course that she didn't commit adultery, but I'm just saying, if it goes down to that point, if she was actually
she was willing?
Yeah, if she was willing to actually indulge in that sexual activity, it says kill that man and that child. But if the man was in a rage and he wanted to kill the child, what happened? The so-called white man would lynch him, man. You don't put 17 men to rape the woman and created a damn a hell-spawn child, you know, a fucking Freddy Krueger type of child, and then you try to actually kill the child, and you looked at as wicked, man. The so-called white man's the goddamn devil, man. Keep going.
God. And it says in verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
And their poison is like the poison of a serpent. When you see how, like cobra bites, individuals that actually recover after getting treatment, after a cobra bite, they got a hole in whatever location they got bit at.
It rots away.
It dry rots, yep. Because that acid is very, very strong. It eats away the tissue. It eats away the muscle fibers. It goes as far as to eating away bone, man. So what happens when you digest that in the spirit? You get destroyed from the inside out. That's why you have all these different individuals that's highly abused on drugs. Which who's the first person to promote drug rap? Really the spirit of drugs, Esau. These different CEOs and these major leaders of these different entertainment or music labels, you know, Def Jam, Interscope, Atlantic, so on and so forth. They're the ones that push drug rap, man. They actually have power to say, all right, no more drug music. All right, the population is being abused. about too many drugs. We're gonna have to clean up the
more
message.
drill rap,
And
no more
if the
drill
whole
rap.
layout was all right, everybody's gonna no more theft, no more robbery, no more murder. You have to rap about this, that, and the other. This is the content, and you stay along the content. Then the rappers will have no choice.
That's why during the early 90s, they kind of show you that in like NWA, CB4. Right.
Yeah, parodies. Yeah.
Those where they show you how the government during the 90s was what? They were banning that rap music. It was a fight against rap music. That's where the whole censory came from. Because what? It was they were afraid that their little white kids were gonna be, little Timmy was gonna be affected by Ice Cube CDs and shit like that.
Right.
But now it's like everybody's affected, so you know. Yeah, B-Rad and shit.
B-Rad.
Yeah. Listen to that. I forget what song it was. OPP. Yeah. But that's a wicked ass song.
That's
other
other
people's pussy. You know, but like I was saying, you know, they pushed that agenda for an example, and people actually fell into that. Because if you go through everybody's playlist, they listen to goddamn rap.
Yep,
but you have some people that just listen to it just for entertainment, and you got other individuals that, I want to be that. I hear him selling them bricks. I'm trying to get to that level. And what happens? You start selling drugs. What happens? The conviction rate get higher. What happens? The drug intake turns higher. You can actually look at statistics and see when rappers speak about Molly, ecstasy, Percocets, promethazine, all these different high drugs, how to
that's why everybody's on that.
The ladder of drugs, or the drug consumption starts to increase, man.
Yep.
So the so-called, and it's all designed by the so-called white man.
Well, I got a theory.
And Esau had to he had to do away with that creative expression, you know. So he planted a seed, and it kind of backfired on him. But now he got his whole, agenda going.
Well, I was gonna say, I got a theory with this whole hot girl summer shit. It's like a wave. I'm like, man, I wouldn't be surprised if these companies like Monostat 7, these yeast infection creams and shit, they probably financing all this hot girl music shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, what? I mean, not to be vulgar, but what good is a woman that's clean and wholesome when you selling all these products for hoes?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So
Plan Bs and
all kind of, vaccines for gonorrhea and herpes and shit. You need the music to push sleep around multiple men. Be as loose as possible, huh?
Yeah, and a lot of these events, you need these events to promote sex.
See?
I think it was was it Coachella or was it Rolling Loud? One of these.
Coachella had a herpes outbreak, right?
Yeah, had a heavy herpes outbreak. Everybody went there to frolic, man. Because what happens with drugs comes sex.
Basically.
With music comes high drug intake. With high drug intake comes sex. With sex comes diseases. With diseases comes money.
Was it rock and roll, sex, and drugs, right?
Yeah.
So that's how the so-called white man, and those are a few examples of how the so-called white man poisons you.
Right.
He's putting all kind of drugs, or he's putting all kind of poison in your water supply, so to speak. You drinking it, and it's poisoning it's poisoning your supply. Keep going.
Come. Verse. I'm just reread it. This verse 4. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent.
Poison of a serpent. And depending upon the serpent, some poisonous serpents have more potent poison than others, man. Mm-hmm. And the so-called white man is known as the serpent.
Yep.
He's the chief serpent.
That old serpent.
King snake. That's why the scriptures speak about keeping a distance from him. You got Jacob trying to rub shoulders with the devil, and they end up turning to the goddamn devil himself, man.
Yeah.
They turn worse than the devil. A lot of these Jakes, you be like, man, this nigga's a black devil, man.
I'd rather work for a cracker than a nigga on a job any day.
Yeah. They learn the ways of the snake, and they see the results of it, man. When most cases most Jakes get rich, what happens? They start to turn to perversity. You'll read about Jake getting into pedophilia, like the whole thing with Bill Cosby and date rape. You don't think, you be like, man, Jake don't be doing no shit like that. You be like, nah, he couldn't have did. Most Jakes was like, nah, Bill Cosby didn't do that shit. Raping women, he got money, he got this and that. Women would be throwing themselves at him.
Yeah.
What would be the point of that? You thinking from a poor man's perspective first and foremost.
Yep.
And you thinking as a Jake, just a Jake without nothing. He's a man with money, and he's been rubbing shoulders with the super rich. He probably be amongst those certain assembly meetings, or been amongst those certain meetings.
And it was more than him.
Yep. Sniffing coke. He probably got popped a couple times. You know.
Orgies.
Orgy fest.
And that type parties.
And even if you're directly amongst it or indirectly amongst it, a lot of times you get affected more. But they say second hand is worse than first hand.
Yep.
So even if you're amongst that energy indirectly, it's still rubbing off on you.
That's right.
It's a little bit more on that than we've done.
It says, they're like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear,
Yep, deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. Continue.
which will not hearken to the voice of charmers.
Charmers, which will not listen to the voice of charmers. So you can try to charm this devil. You can try to appeal to his interests. You could be a good old boy. And he don't care about none of that, man. You expendable to him. They'll get rid of you and put another nigga in your seat.
Yep.
That's why in these different companies, what they have the manager, they have the supervisor, you know, they have different underlings and things of that nature. And if you do one slight thing wrong, they'll get rid of your ass at the drop of a dime, man.
Hunger Games.
Yeah. They don't care if you put in 20, 25 years. Going back to Bill Cosby. Look how long Bill Cosby was in the game, man.
Bill Cosby go back before
decades.
all of these comedians.
He an OG.
Him-
Him, OG of
Him,
his
Red
time,
Fox.
And Richard Pryor.
Yeah, Richard Pryor. Yeah, like you said, Red Fox. All these different individuals. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Prince. You know?
Yeah, they were
You
child
would think they
fighters.
would have died name unscathed. How many people actually love their music, love who they are? How many people are actually charmed by those individuals? They died with their names in the dirt.
Yeah.
And their names are still getting shitted on to this day, man.
Their estate is still getting sued to this day too.
They still getting sued. You know, Tupac. You had this thing that just came out with Tupac ID being sold for like I think
30,000.
30,000.
But now it's up there. I think they're like 200,000, something like that. Yeah.
But that's the nature of Esau. Because he profits off of people's death too.
Yes.
They want to keep people relevant and they want to keep them living even though they're dead.
Elvis.
You see? That's wicked. Trying to keep their image afloat, whether through demonization,
Holograms.
through holograms, through auctioning off certain properties of them. Like you said, still suing them from back pay or creating certain things to actually sue them for. Still trying to make money, man. That's the goddamn devil. Keep going.
Hell yeah, witchcraft.
Yeah, which is a form of witchcraft.
I'm gonna continue with verse.
Esau won't let the dead rest.
When they get mad, when we come out here and curse him out for what he did to us.
Oh, but we're wrong. We're terrorists. We're the worst people.
Get over it.
Right.
Israelites are the worst group since goddamn Al Qaeda. Because we're teaching. What it's saying, Galatians, I'm about to become your enemy because I tell you the truth. It's because we're teaching the truth. Keep going.
It says in verse 5, it says, charming, never so wise.
Charming, never so wise. Keep going.
Break their teeth, or power.
That's the main point. Okay. That's all. Yeah.
This is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Yeah, so he's looking to pry on people, man.
Yeah,
Or prey on people. He's looking for the weakest link to fuck them over. That's why it's a reason why these billionaires became billionaires. They didn't become billionaires because they started at the bottom and they worked hard and they came up with certain inventions, you know, and they tediously worked until the point that they received millions of dollars and they flipped it and became billionaires. Now, in certain cases, some people work that way up, but that's rare.
Not
Most people, yeah. In most cases, hey, it's even statistically proven. The more money you receive, the more deceptive you become. The more lies you tell.
The more you distrust people.
The more you distrust people, and the more you're willing to F people over. You see?
What did that nigga Fab said on the song? He said, you ever think when you get an opportunity, who did you take it from?
And the so-called white man will take it straight up. He'll snatch the mat from up under you, man.
That's why we had to take. That's why we had to do his ass like that with the blessing, man. Right.
Because he would have did the same.
He would
thing.
have did the same shit.
Well, you see how he backstabbed Cain? Backstabbed Abel. He stabbed the man in the back just to give it. It wasn't even a blessing involved. He just doing it off of sheer offer. You gonna kill the man?
Sheer envy.
Yeah, sheer envy. And that same spirit, the fumes of hatred the fumes of jealousy are still emitting from the devil. And like I said, these different billionaires that work their ways up, a lot of times they stole the idea. You know, saying the real McCoy. A lot of times they rob people blind. Look at the international bankers, man. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, that whole family. They made money from you know, high interest rates.
Yep.
Because individuals were poor, they were dirt poor, and they needed loans, so they would go to the, which that word bank goes back to the bench. You know, they would actually go to the bench, and they would actually have. That's why when you read the scriptures in Matthew, they spoke about what the people that were selling
The table changers.
the table changers. Because that was a form of banking.
And they got that, and with those niggas back then that was doing that got that from Esau.
Because they would go to the table.
Oh,
and
Esau
then
got it from.
they would make.
Yeah, Esau got it from them.
They would actually need loans and things of that nature. So the individuals would actually give them money, which the individuals became bankers. The ones on the bench, they would give them a certain amount of money, and they would charge high interest rates. They would charge high interest rates, which at certain times, even in today's time, would be known as illegal. When you charge, what's that called? Loan shark. When you loan shark, all right, I'm gonna give you $1,000, but I want $5,000 back.
Esau was just doing tribute.
By the end of the month, I want this or that percentage. And if the percentage is high as hell, to the point that person can't pay it back, and they have to keep, then they have to keep paying for the rest of their life in order to pay that back. So $1,000 turns to $5,000. You might pay that, you might pay $3,000 off, but that $5,000 changed to $10,000, man.
Oh yeah.
So say for instance, it take you 7 years, and you might pay $9,000 off. That $10,000, because the higher interest rate, they start compounding, man. That $10,000 turns to goddamn $30,000. Really, now it's your life. Now you working for me now.
Basically.
And Esau, it went from one individual to 10 individuals to hundreds to millions to Job 9 and 24 being fully fulfilled, man.
Oh man.
And that's how the banking dynasty came afloat. So when you want to finance a nice car, you want to finance a nice ass house, you want to get into the real estate field, you ain't doing enough with your personal income because you ain't making shit. They make sure that you don't make a goddamn thing on these jobs so that you have to go to the bankers and so that they can loan. All right, let me give you this money. All right, but I know you ain't gonna never be able to pay it off. I'm just gonna own you through this amount of money, man.
Like title loans.
Title loans.
How many people really pay title loans off?
Nobody. Really, it's foolish to get a title loan from the beginning.
Unless you already know, like, man, when they come and take this shit, they just take it.
Yeah.
Good. That's the whole system of it, and that's a form of table changes too. Because you go to that title loan or whatever, Title Max or whatever company you may use, you sit at a table. You sit at a table and there's some devil across the way of you. Like, are you sure? Sign here. All right. Well, we're gonna give you $100. But you gotta give us $800 back. And a nigga be so desperate. Cool.
Thank you, mister. You guys on?
Car be gone. Payday loans.
All them loans. Mortgage. Which that word mortgage means a death pledge. Because in most cases, what you might receive a loan to actually purchase a house. So you have to get that loan, and then you have to have that high ass interest on top of it. And by the time you pay off the interest, it damn near takes forever, and you still got to pay off the house.
What they do? ARPs, annual percentage APRs, which that's how they trick Jake too, because Jake will think that a loan is. See, you'll think, oh, it's $100,000 times 10% interest rate on it. Nah, Esau he'll compound your interest loan monthly. He add interest on it every month. It ain't just a whole total like, all right, you got $100,000 loan.
It's not that plus the 110%.
And then 10% on top of it. No, he taxes you yearly and monthly on some real goofy shit. Next thing you know, like you said, like you said, it is debt. Because it's like the average Jake, you say, yeah, I got a house today, and it'll be paid off today, 30 years from now. Man, Jake be getting killed for the littlest thing, man. Dying from heartburn, this random shit. So like you said, like the idea of you reaching the 30-year term, come on, man.
Then by the time you get the house ain't worth shit. It done broke down.
Outdated.
You done had to put repairs into
Right. Well,
it
because
and
all the money is going
facilities.
towards the goddamn death pledge.
Right.
Unto your death. That's why it's called a death pledge. You pledging, whenever you pledge, like you pledge allegiance, you know, you're pledging your death. You pledging to pay on that unto the point of your death.
Right, because you ain't gonna have to. You ain't gonna be able to pay it off.
They stuck my daddy with one of them 30-year payment plans.
Or the old Cadillac.
Right, I paid straight cash for mine.
You get fucked over with that, because these houses ain't really worth that, man.
They really not.
Esau is good at
Really
fucking
not.
the world. Esau is great.
He can build a
master
house.
at that. He's a mastermind. He's a mastermind.
He's the
devil.
god of that shit.
He's the god of wickedness, man.
Yeah.
Isaiah 30 and 1. Woe to the rebellious children that saith to the Lord,
He's a god.
that take counsel but not of me, and that
God
cover
of his
with a covering but not of my spirit.
Yeah, so you cover yourselves with all these things that's really under the form of control, the guises of control. All right, you into Christianity, which Christianity is a form of control.
Religion.
Yep, which is religious control. You always trying to you going into Steve Harvey or Wendy Williams or Oprah for counsel, man. Which is a form of control, because who's controlling them?
Right. Yep.
Who's giving them all that goddamn money to talk that bullshit, man?
Right.
The so-called white man. They
But
get,
Monique said, "Fuck it." I'm just gonna
Oprah Winfrey ain't a billionaire for no reason. Or like I was
She a
saying before,
gatekeeper.
like how what Dr. Sebi said when he came up with the cure for HIV and all these, he said blindness and all these different things, which he claims, you know, he said that he went to Oprah Winfrey, he went to the leaders of the people, and he said they wasn't trying to hear that shit. He was like, why? Because the people ain't looking for a cure. All the money Oprah Winfrey got, she could turn the world upside down. I mean, of course, you know, really, you can't do nothing but under the hand of so-called white men. But she a multi-billionaire. She could change some shit. So to
All
speak.
she had to do was say Dr. Sebi's name, and then
She could throw a mention out there.
and then
Think
he
about it. She says a
said-
book. She go on TV, be like,
Right.
yeah, this is a book I'm reading.
Right.
Next day, New York bestseller Times.
Yep.
Next day.
Oprah's book
club.
That
book club. You know, every month.
Why she don't speak about the Israelites?
Yeah, if she said, all right, the Israelites have the truth.
Shit.
Oh man, the line
shit.
be all the way down there, man.
Oprah said y'all got-
Bibles galore.
Oprah said y'all
big
got-
Bibles, and you know, garments.
Grabbing the
Hebrew be
Looking
the
like they just came out the ancient world.
Hebrew,
like a
Hebrew
portal
be
open.
the Hebrew be the #1 language in America,
Hebrew be the
man.
number one language.
Trending.
English, nigga. We speak Hebrew.
During an old interview back probably in the 90s or something, that somebody was interviewing her, and they asked her how did she get so so famous, and I think she said her grandmother, her mother said you gotta find out who's a good white man.
Damn.
When you played a big coon and
He said,
she was driving Miss Daisy, and she been driving Miss Daisy since that part, man, until the end. You know, doing everything to appeal to the interests of the so-called white man, pushing his narrative to keep you asleep. Like I said, that's a form of a covering. There's so many different coverings, man. Hoism, women's liberation, trap life, gangster life,
thug life.
being a big boy fraternity coon. There's so many worlds, man.
Yep.
The virtual world. Esau got traps on top of traps. This is a big ass spider web. It's a melting pot, and in order to stay out of the mist, you have to be in the spirit. You have to plug into the words of Yahweh Shemal Shah.
That's right.
Got some more?
It says, but not of me.
But
and
not
that,
of me.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Right, and that cover that everybody's covering with is going to be snatched off, man. You get matter of fact, you go to Isaiah 25 and 7. Because everybody's covering themselves like we just read about over the shadow of Egypt. When Jake was in Egypt, they was being big boy niggas, man.
Yep.
You know, subscribing to the spirit of Egyptology, homosexualism. They was into that Amun-Ra bullshit. You know,
Which that is homosexuality.
yeah, which that is homosexuality. They loved the fact that they was about a Nile. You know, the location. Look at Jake. Jake loves the fact that they're in Atlanta or in New York. That's enough. They don't care that they're in Atlanta. They're the captives. They're like, I'm in captivity, but shit, I'm in the best part of it. You know, that's that house. It's that house nigga mentality. You know, Jake done got actually forcefully placed in slavery, but Jake just happy they a house nigga. They ain't out there like the field niggas. And see, that's the problem with Jake. They got a crab in a bucket mentality. They be like, all right, I'm low, but I ain't that low.
Right.
All right, I'm making $20,000 a year, but I ain't poor.
Could be worse.
I ain't on the street, so that's good enough. I'm making $300 on my paycheck, but you know I ain't sleeping on the street. Nigga, you making $300 and you busting your ass, man.
You busting
You
your
ain't
ass.
pissed off. That's why it says what? Ecclesiastes 7.
I was going there. You want that?
Yeah, you get that.
This is
At least
Ecclesiastes
stack a week, baby.
7:7. And it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Yeah, and it don't matter how much you make. You can make a stack a week. You can make 5 stacks a week. You can be these LeBron James. They got a damn near kill this. Oh, what happened? They woman divorced him. And, oh, this shit with the game. The game got a fork over $7 million to a hoe that was on his TV show. Lusted after him. Here it is. She done went on his show. And you know how them women is that be on those shows. They basically be sluts. They just want to come. They appeal to the man for the money. And she done found a way to goddamn get the man to give him this, well, to sue him for $7 million.
Video this.
Yeah, these video hoes.
This nigga on the middle
So
of
at the end of the day,
day,
yeah, that's all. At the end of the day, it all shows that she wanted the money from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's wicked as hell for the judge to not have that discernment to see. But that shows that the judges don't give a fuck about you rappers. They don't give a fuck about you drug dealers. Any of you niggas, man. If you blacks on a whole, they looking to throw the book at you and get everything taken from you. Any guys?
Yeah, they can look at Blake Griffin.
Yeah, Blake.
His wife is getting child support and all that from him, and I think she makes more money than most players in the league.
Yeah. Eat. And what she's spending it on? Bags,
hair.
hair.
Well, she's I think she's the Edomite, so she ain't spending no money on that shit.
Them hoes be having hair in their head too.
Oh no, they spend it.
Big ass nails.
Yeah, the Gucci, the Louis Vuittons. Yeah, all that bullshit. Just giving all the money back to the man. You know?
Trying to look like Beyonce or some shit.
Some on that.
Oh, that was it on that, bro.
Boy, be a ball player, man. Her, she taking half. She taking all.
It
You
says, but not of my spirit, and that they may add sin to sin.
That they may add sin to sin. Sin to sin is transgressions upon transgressions. And that's what? Iniquity. That's why it tells you in Isaiah the 1st chapter how Jacob is laden. Jacob is just laden with sin. They got so many sins on them, they don't even know righteousness. Yeah. And then when it's blatantly in their face on the street, and we tell them this is the way, the truth, and the light, walk in it, like shit, but the darkness too fun. Right. I'm addicted to the darkness. Right. Jacob's like fucking like demons, man, like vampires.
Hell
they
yeah.
don't even come out in the daytime.
Yeah, I wish I said that.
They more addicted to the nightlife than the day.
They love darkness.
If Jacob, work out in the day, do everything that you can do in the day, or you just party all night and drink and get your rocks off all night, which one would you choose? Jacob choose the night, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Sober up during the day.
Sober up during the day. That's where what they say, the freak come out at night.
Yep.
That's where Jake basically gets down, man. And we don't even be out in these streets, of Atlanta, but it's all kind of filthism that goes on, man.
We've been there. We know.
All kind of bisexual activity, all kind of man on man,
Man on man on girl.
man on man on girl on man, on animal. It's all kind of filthy shit. That's why it says in Ephesians the 5th chapter, it's a shame to speak about those things that's done in secret. In these little private clubs, and you have these different admissions that you can sign up for those free clubs, man.
Swinger clubs.
Swinger clubs, you think your woman's going out with the girls to go book read, she going to a swingers club to get drilled out by damn near 10 niggas, man. And that's what
they gonna have showers there for her ass to wash.
Yeah, have showers to wash.
And then 5 homegirls are gonna be in it too.
Yeah. You got some more?
Nah, that was it, man.
Isaiah 25.
It said,
My son never talking about
this is Isaiah chapter 25 and verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people.
Yeah, and the covering that's cast on all people is lies and deception. And people have been told so many lies that they don't know the truth. They don't even want to hear the truth. Truth is foreign unto them. When Jake was getting their backs beat, and they was getting their... If you would have told certain Jakes they was an Israelite, they wouldn't have believed it, man. Now look at today. Jake is still under the whip of slavery. Even though it's been a couple 100 years, but that ain't really no time.
Right.
You break a generation, that spirit is gonna transpire from one generation to the next. And we're trying to tell our people their true nationality, and we have the full evidence in the book that they have at home. They're the book that they always open, but they don't believe it out the book. But they believe everything their pastor tell them.
Yeah.
When that collection plate is spinning around damn near 5-6 times, they done gave up damn near half their rent money for some bullshit. Pastor didn't tell them nothing, but bedazzled them.
Right.
Danced on, spun on their head, and told them all kind of lies, but they believe that. You see, the people are oblivious to everything.
Damn.
They believe everything that the government tells them, but when it comes down to hard facts, or when it deals with conspiracy, that's a big thing too. Since that term conspiracy has been thrown upon individuals that tell the truth, nobody wants to listen to it anymore. You know, they flagged Alex Jones and these different, so-called conspiracy theorists online. They shut their pages off.
Yep.
They're trying to remove them fully from the internet just because they're telling forms of the truth.
A form, not even the truth.
Yeah, not even the truth. And we're telling it straight nothing. We're telling Jake who their enemy is through historical data, through statistics, through full truth, through biblical proof. We hit each and every place.
Yep.
You know, we got them hitting driving every nail home, leaving no stone unturned, and Jake still don't get it, man. Why? Because it's an angel of the covering that's keeping their eyes closed. There's some more on that.
It says, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
And the veil that's spread over all nations. All right, and a veil is a form of a covering. Like when you see a bride is walking to the altar, so to speak. You know, in most cases in all cases they'll have the veil. That veil is a form of a covering, and then the man does what? He uncovers her.
Yes, the father walks her down, and
which is it's a full ritual. But see, Jake has that veil. They have the death veil. They have that veil on with the funeral.
Oh man, they got that CIA torture veil on
that
there.
torture veil. Smothered,
can't see shit.
Upside down, getting waterboarded.
Basically.
And you trying to take it from him, and Jacob push you out the way and grab the mask and put it back on your head.
Be like, Esau, get him.
Yeah.
God damn.
Jake's been in darkness too long, man. Hey, in darkness, to be in darkness for a period of time, it has psychological effects, man. Look at solitary confinement. They don't throw them in that black box for no reason. What happens? Your mind starts to go insane.
Yep.
And in most cases, depending on the level of time, the span of time that you're in darkness, you start to create images in your head. That's why you have individuals that have so-called imaginary friends. They start to summon demons, man, to cope. Because the mind is not just gonna deal with circumstances. The mind has ways of playing tricks on itself through forms of self-deception, which they call what? Illusions, delusions. And it comes through self-belief. And that's why, and that's the people, all right? Pride is a form of deception.
Yep.
Pride is a form of delusion. And Jake has adopted that mentality and that emotion to cope with the conditions that they're living in. Because if Jake actually acknowledged, we in a shitty condition, we live in a shitty lifestyle, a lot of Jakes want to kill themselves. They'll have to, because they're already suffering depression as it is. But when they start to acknowledge, all right, this is the lowest that we at, man. All right, there's people that live on top of us, that's oppressing us, and we have to fight to actually get up out of this situation, and we have to fight and dedicate ourselves relentlessly. A lot of Jakes will just forfeit, man. They will actually forfeit them lives, man. Forfeit their lives.
Trying for some mental.
There's some more on that.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, Jake bugged out, man.
Continue on. That was it on 7.
That was it? Okay.
Tell me the story. I don't know.
Get that, man.
This is Isaiah 29 and verse 10. For the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Yeah, so the Lord poured out the spirit of deep sleep upon the people, man. Because of what it tells you in Isaiah 45 and 7.
Yeah.
The Lord created light and he created darkness. He doesn't want everybody to come to the light. Contrary to what your pastor says,
maybe
pastor talking about bringing everybody to the light, homosexuals, lesbians, transgenders, everybody has an open doorway to the kingdom. Nah, The door's shut to you, homie. Right when you chop your rod off, right when you actually indulge in that act, the Lord closed the door on you with the master lock on it. It ain't no way of opening that. What does it say in Revelation? The Lord openeth, that no man shut up, and shut up, that no man openeth. You know? When you actually came out the closet, you shut the doors to yourself to salvation, man. So this thing is for a select few. The select is known in the scriptures as the elect. Keep going.
God, it says, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers.
Yeah, the Lord put the blinders on a lot of jakes, man. So it ain't even no point in getting mad at a lot of jake that sleep. You know, you had that nigga Drake that had that song, nigga sleep, let him sleep, let him rest in peace. That's Jake. Hey, just let Jake rest in peace, man.
Basically.
Jake think this day rest, even though this ain't our rest, but they want to sleep and slumber.
Have it.
And you got certain jakes that try to go out their way. They want to go to the ghettos, and Jake ain't getting out of that mentality, man.
That's really one of the most comfortable ways of living is in the ghetto.
Yeah. Jake can shoot you in those ghettos, man, trying to wake them up. And you gangbangers, you Bloods and Crips, and put the flags down. Next thing you know, you got a goddamn hole in your chest.
We'll talk about big and bad and bowling, man. I got a precept for you real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness?
Right. So the scripture says don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. And most of this world are unbelievers. They don't embrace the ways of truth. They embrace the ways of wickedness. They learn their philosophies and their ways of life according to the so-called white man. Because what does the niggas go by? They go by religion, they go by the policy that's being placed, and they go by entertainment. All those are the form of guidance, and those are that's the forms of the model that they form their life around. And then they mold their lives amongst that. All right, they learn a little bit here, they learn a little bit there, they learn a little bit there, and then they gain. That's how their character is formed. All right, because your character is determined by what? Characteristics. How do you retrieve or receive characteristics? By the environment that you're amongst and by the people that you actually hang to. You ever hung with somebody so long you start acting like them, talking like them, you develop the same mannerisms, just like this nigga, man. And in most cases, the dominant energy pushes on the less dominant. You see? You can actually see groups of individuals and you can see like, oh, that's the leader right there.
Yep.
You even see that with women. You see 2-3 women hanging out. You be like, that's the main hoe right there. That's the alpha hoe.
Alpha hoe.
With everything you have hierarchy. And in most cases, what she's doing is gonna rub off on others. Now in today's time, we have the internet where everybody's seeing dirt is being seen, everything is being seen on a major platform, the World Wide Web. Now who's the alpha hoe in these times? We have Cardi B. You have J-Ho.
Meg Thee Stallion is definitely
Meg Thee Stallion. You got a lot of these women, man. These women that touch that 50 million.
Nobody talks about Meg Thee Stallion being a college student. Right. Nobody talks about that aspect.
Hell about that.
But everybody knows she's a big old freak.
Right.
And they want to be a freak like the city girls. They trying to hit this. A lot of these women want to be the next city girl. Hey, you see, a lot of these jakes that be making a lot of money producing and making music for black men. A lot of women be giving a lot of money to be the next rappers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They got the aspirations. And when they talk about all in their music, how much rod they blow, man? How good they can blow rod?
How big it gotta be?
How big the rod gotta be?
How good they could buy?
Yeah, how good they box is.
They ain't got no Quabai, man. Don't even call it that.
Some more on that? What you have?
That trap.
Isaiah 29 and verse 10. For the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of these sleep, and have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers.
And the Lord shut the eyes on a lot of people. He don't even want you to open to the
Jake Drive.
That's why a lot of people are what? As the saying goes, closed-minded. Yeah, and they say what? Your mind, your third eye. That eye is closed with Jake, so that they can't hear the truth.
That's right.
When you first come into the truth, you have a level of open-mindedness. Which that word open-mindedness, when you look it up, It means foolish. Because when you come into this truth, you actually acknowledge that you're foolish and you don't know nothing, and you have to be taught. What did the Ethiopian eunuch say to Philip? How should I learn unless I be taught? He basically expressed the point that he's a fool. Not in a bad way. You got a good foolish and you got a bad foolish. He's not pridefully foolish. He's humbly foolish. He's humbly foolish. And like Yahweh Shah said in John the 3rd chapter, with Nicodemus was humbly foolish. All right, foolish to the point where he didn't understand and realize that he had to be reborn, and he had to humble himself as a child, because a child is basically in a foolish child, in his foolish stages, to grow up and educate themselves upon in the spirit of wisdom.
Yeah, that's good to say. You gotta be willing to learn.
Willing to learn.
I got a quick one, real quick if you don't mind. This is Revelation 3:18. And it says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see.
And in order to anoint your eyes with eye salve, you have to dip into this word. This is the spiritual eye salve. And a lot of jakes be having the coating on their eyes, man, to the point where they can't see. That spirit of blindness. Like Paul when he got knocked off the horse, was that spiritual too? Because what? Paul got knocked off his high horse. He had a level of pride, because he was a Pharisee. Yep. He got knocked off his high horse and he was blind for the space of 3 days. And the scales, what happened? The scales from his eyes basically fell, and basically that's when that was a spiritual, because after that he was able to see fully the truth, and he became a whole new man. And that same spirit, we all have to go through that same ritual, so to speak, in order to be awakened to the truth. The Lord has to knock us off our high horse. The Lord has to take those scales from our eyes so that we can be awakened to the truth. I got you.
Yeah, this is Romans 11 and verse 7.
Oh, and what happened too? Yahweh Shah anointed Paul with the Holy Spirit. Yahweh Shah personally came to Paul and said, why are you kicking against the pricks? He basically rebuked Paul, and after that, Paul was a go-getter for the truth.
Yeah, went from Saul to Paul.
Romans 11 verse 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
Yeah, so a select few have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. This is a crash course to the kingdom of heaven, and a lot of jakes ain't making it, man. Like they say that how the truth is hidden. The truth is hidden, and it's hidden for a specific reason, so most individuals can't see it, man. Because if the truth was obvious, like, all right, this is the truth right here. You know how many jakes will line up for that?
Yeah.
And it already has been shown in the ancient world when Jake actually had the truth, when the Most High was physically amongst Jake, showing miracles, having the Ark of the Covenant in the midst of them, the king being on point, the priest being on point. Jake still neglected to stay in the spirit of the Lord, man. They got what? They waxed content. They didn't appreciate nothing. What it say in Deuteronomy 32, Jeshurun waxed fat and rebelled. The word rebel, re is back, and bellum means war. They made war against the power that fed and nourished them, man. They became straight degenerates. And they're still doing it unto this day. Where Jake will embrace the fact of themselves being sinners. Got some more?
Verse 8. According as it is written, the Most High hath given them the spirit of slumber.
Spirit of slumber.
Eyes that they should not see.
Yeah, Jake is in a big ass slumber party, man. Effing around.
Big ass pizza party.
Yeah, big pizza party. All kind of little snacks.
Orange soda.
The big boy jammies on.
Feet in.
Sucking a thumb. That's why Jake ain't serious, man. You talk to Jake like, man, bro, is you ever serious?
No, Jake ain't got a serious bone in their body, man.
Jake always clowning around.
Yeah.
Jake ain't nothing but like a bunch of hyenas, man. Cackling and sniggling and giggling. Wanting to hit this event, wanting to hit that event, wanting to see this. They're like little girls, man.
You got 45-year-old niggas that are still in a high school mentality.
High school, oh yeah.
Whoa, man, I gotta say this, man. Our people literally live like they in high school.
Yeah, it's high school, man.
This is high school.
They live like they
What you doing this weekend?
You know,
It's like the development stopped.
yeah, like development
hell
stopped at damn 17.
Yeah, right.
You know, they just now 37, 47, 57 years old.
Their age, but their
Right.
mind
Yeah,
still
but their
got
mind
that.
is 17, 18, man.
Right.
Because the only way to grow at that point is mentally, man.
Yep.
When you get to that level, because what happens? Jake grows up mentally in high school, but after that they stop studying.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
They stop studying, and their minds is fully absolved in bullshit.
Yeah.
So what happens? They stop growing. Jake had, you know, you'll leave the world, you know, you'll leave Facebook and things of that nature, and you'll log off for months to a couple years. He's like, man, let me get back on Facebook to see what's going on.
I be doing that
Like,
shit.
you know that? He's like, man, these
People
niggas ain't
watching,
doing a damn thing.
Be
man.
people watching, man.
Because Jake don't grow.
Nope.
Jake's still making the same income, still running around. Hey, the lives that you brothers got away from, you was good to get away from. It ain't
Hell
nothing going on now, man. The niggas you got away from, good riddance to them niggas. They doing it. They gonna do the same thing if you was there or if you ain't there.
Yeah.
They still hitting the club.
Going to Waffle House every Saturday night.
They still
Yeah.
smoking blunts. They still bragging about how high they is. Like, nigga, you get high every day. Why you still? Bro, I'm so high,
Hey,
bro.
hey, Jake.
Like, bro, it's like you been high. You been getting high for over 15 years, bro. Bro, I'm so high, bro. That's Jake, man. That's why it gotta.
No. Right here? Strip club.
If it's a courthouse, your ass don't get away from it.
Right. Hey, Jake. Hey, Jake.
Jake just asked dumb questions. Like,
Right.
should ask him, do you want to actually go? No, I don't want to go. I was just curious.
First of all, Saturday, what the fuck courthouse is gonna be open today?
Open on a Saturday. That's what. Why you asking that?
Hyenas, man.
Hey,
You just gotta treat them accordingly.
first of all, I want to say, what does it look like the fucking courthouse, bitch?
And the funny thing is, you gotta. Jake got smartphones, man. Just get on your Google and see if it's a courthouse.
Siri courthouse.
But that's a prime example of what we were just talking about. Their minds ain't developed past their teenage years.
Jake don't grow, man.
Jake, you know, back in the day, you know, like you in school, you know, Jake could take pictures with money and guns and shit. Niggas is 20, 30, 40 years old doing the same shit. Like, nigga, this is the same picture you took, you know, that 10-year aging challenge shit. You could do that every week. Niggas doing the same shit.
Yep.
Because our people are dumb as fuck, man. And I'm going to say it like that. Y'all are dumb as fuck, and the Lord gonna destroy you. Because your mind and your spirit is not on reality, man. Okay? There's a reality that's getting ready to check y'all asses. And guess what? We can't do nothing about it. You've been told, you've been warned. You know? You got to get into the, you know, the right spirit of things, man.
Jake gotta get.
You know?
Jake gotta get in the context of the time.
Jake just gotta die.
Even though Jake be
Yeah, you know,
updated,
that's what I'm
the
thinking
funny
of
thing is
reset,
with
man.
Jake be updated with all these cars, be updated with all these phones. Everything is updated, but their
people
mind is
that-
outdated. Because they're not keeping up with the times, man. The signs of the times, the spirit of the times. We in the times of death, man. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter tells you that. Some more on that?
Yeah, a little more. It says, according as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber.
Yeah, so it's a gift from the Most High. The Most High gave it to you as a present, man. The spirit of slumber.
Gift wrap that motherfucker.
Gift wrapped it. You got it from the strict, divinely from the Heavenly Father. To be sleep, to be ignorant, to live your best life. Keep going.
As ignorant as niggas are, that show you that proves it as a Most High.
Yeah.
Niggas ain't supposed to be this stupid.
Niggas ain't-
Right.
Right. Something gotta be.
What was that? Hosea 4 and 6, man.
And that's a credit to evolution, man. Because
Right.
if you get into evolution, as time progresses, people will evolve. But these people aren't evolving; they're devolving. They're getting dumber. That's why you have that term degenerate,
Yep.
to take away from generations. If evolution was true,
Hold on.
people would actually be updated and be wiser. People are actually getting stupider in time. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra.
Yep.
How we lost our stature.
I got a
Smoke.
precept.
Yeah. It says, eyes that they should not see.
Eyes that shit they should not see. See what? The knowledge and see the truth as plain as day. You see, because in the spirit we have them they live glasses on
All the time.
all the time. And Jake just walking around oblivious, man, in a sunken place. You try to shake Jake the wrong way, they'll damn near stab you,
Them
man.
niggas where the Shimigami gods is at.
Uh,
Right.
Just decrepit.
Crap it.
and ears that they should not hear until this day.
And ears that they should not hear unto this day. So it don't matter how you say it, how elegant, how eloquent you might push it to Jake, hit all the scriptures, you can rub Jake the right way, Jake still ain't gonna get it, man.
Give a gift at the end.
Give a gift at the end, you know? It don't matter, man.
What translation?
Because as it is written, 2/3 shall be cut off and die. The 2/3, and it tells you also in Peter how the Lord makes it where the ungodly is saved and reserved to judgment. All right, and it says the righteous shall scarce make it all.
English soap. Old English word.
This is Hosea 4 and 6.
The other one is SOAP.
My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
So my is a possessive
kept that
pronoun.
in.
The Lord's people are destroyed. The word destroy, D, is to take away, and destroy is destruction. Destruction is deconstructed. Continue.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
We'll read that for
Okay.
people are destroyed for.
My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, because knowledge is a form of edifying. Knowledge is a form of building blocks. You need knowledge in order to build anything. For this layout, for this building to actually have the particular layout and formation to actually be stable, it took a level of knowledge, man. To structure that building a certain way, you see, positioning and all these different things. Now we're dealing with nations. We're dealing with a national wisdom. The so-called white man has national wisdom. They have certain holes and they have certain streamlines that they could get through to the point where they could become millionaires overnight. Because they have a particular peculiar knowledge.
Yeah. That's why it's good to say, how should I say, the children of this world are wiser than the children of light.
Yeah. And see, Jake doesn't understand their cheat codes because all nations have a particular cheat code.
Yep.
And it's all about tapping into it. But Jake thinks the cheat code of life is selling kilos, man.
Right. That's fast money.
If you flip a certain amount of kilos, then you can become a millionaire. Not looking at the individuals that already tried it and done it.
And failed
miserably. And where are they at now? Look at Rick Ross. He got locked up. He had to do his time. El Chapo. He got to do his time. Pablo Escobar, Griselda Blanca, all these different drug lords. They might have had a 10-year, multi-million-dollar run.
If that
Might have generated millions. And then after that, they get pinched.
Yep.
They get pinched and they got to sit down for the rest of their life. You got to sit down for 100 years, 150 years, 200. They throw the book at
Esau said, we got it from here.
You see? And what happens? All their property gets seized. Their cars get seized because it's all under the hand of drug money.
Trying to get
all their drugs get compromised and taken away from them.
Trying to get El Chapo's $12 billion.
They freeze their assets.
They say he got like $12 billion to his name. They trying to take that shit.
Because he was a dirty worker. He did the dirty work, and you get the white boys to come in and clean up shop. They do the clean work. All right, hey, give me that $12 billion. And, made $5. Now we ain't gonna touch it. Let the numbers go up. $6 billion, $7 billion, $8 billion.
Wait till you get up there.
12 billion. All right. You done made us. That's how much they looking at your bank account as their bank account. We making this much. We ain't gotta lift a hair. So now you have the front man, El Chapo, but you don't see the individuals in the background.
Right.
Who he worked for.
Who's on top of him?
Who's he supplying?
Who's paying him all that money?
Right.
We're looking the other way when they transport them down.
And who's helping him get off with all doing all those different crimes, man? Because hey, Jake try to sell a couple of dimes in the street, they getting locked up, man. Jake be low level selling drugs. That's why niggas be talking about the feds all paranoid. They getting locked up for that. So how much more an individual that's selling hundreds of $1,000s, kilos, $1 million worth of drugs, man, and they not getting locked up? Yeah. He's funded.
Federally funded.
So, you keep going.
God, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Yeah, so you have to tap into knowledge. And it says because thou hast rejected knowledge, Jake is like that CD player with the wrong disc.
Yeah.
You just shoot it out.
Upside down and shit.
And this is the right information.
It got scratches on it.
It's either the computer system is messed up or the so-called CD is. Yep. And we know that this is the right information. It's just going in the vessel of a wrong spirit, man.
Yep.
Right. One is filthy, one is clean.
Yeah, wisdom shall not enter into a malicious soul.
Wisdom shall not enter into a malicious soul. You can't put cleanliness into wickedness. That's why it tells you in Jeremiah the 2nd chapter, though I watch thee with Nitri.
Oh, that's what I got right here.
Okay. We'll put it that in.
Yeah. That's what I got.
And switch out.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Yeah, so the Lord rejected you. It says that Jeremiah 6:30. Matter of fact, you see if that's it real fast. Because the Lord, degenerate silver shall men call them.
Oh, reprobate silver.
Reprobate silver shall men call them. And it says, because the Lord has rejected. See if that's it. It's 36.
The last one, reprobate silver. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 30. Or you want me to start at?
Yeah, start off with like
28 to 27. This is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 27. I have set thee, I'm going to start at 28. They are all grievous revolters, walking with
That
slanders.
don't sound good, man. That's a cuss out. You a grievous revolter.
Slander.
You don't even have to cuss somebody out. Calling somebody a grievous revolter, that's disrespect. That means you a grief in the spirit and you always about revolting. What's a revolt? That's where you get the term revolution. You're always trying to fight against that which is right to you. You ever seen that badass kid in the house? Mom always tell them the right thing to do, but they always want to buck up.
Yep.
Want to run out the house. Want to do the exact opposite.
I know exactly. I can
Your
relate.
parents tell them to clean up on a simple level. Clean up because your shit dirty. Y'all don't want to do that. They're like little Edomites. You see white people doing that, man. Fuck you, dad.
Fuck you, mom.
They're calling your mom a bitch.
My first name.
Want to beat up your parents and stuff. That's
Beth.
Jake, man. But Jake had that spirit on a divine level, man. They have that type of hatred towards their power, towards the Heavenly Father. Keep going.
It says walking with slanders.
Walking with slander. They always slandering and talking shit. That's why Jake, how many fights brothers got into on the street, man? Talking about Israelites on the whole, over just speaking the truth. Because niggas is hard-headed, man. Keep going.
They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters.
Yeah, they just worthless materials, man. All oxidated and dry, rotten. You know? Look at certain things that just are rusty. You ain't gonna put that on your neck. That's Jake though.
You try to build a house and put, with the wood, the boards all bowing and shit.
I know.
Can't do nothing with this bowing ass board.
Throw that shit in the trash can. Recycle it.
You got a knot. We get the branch come out. It's got a big knot in it.
Big
Shit.
knot.
You can't do nothing with that lumber.
Yeah, the only thing you can do with it is recycle it. Yeah. And how is Jake gonna go back through
Put
the
it down
cycle?
and make pencils
Yeah.
and shit.
Yep.
The cycle of death to life. That's the only way that Jake could get back right. Filter out all those demons out of them, man. Their corpse being lodged back in the earth, and the spirits going back to the heavens. Then they
Spirits gotta go all through all the Shemites.
gotta get filtered through all the waters, man.
That damn deep as
They come back through the waters.
They gotta come back through the waters.
Sorry, they come back down.
And then they'll be alright. Keep going.
Verse 29. The bellows are burned. The lead is consumed of the fire, and the founder melteth in vain. For the wicked,
Well, that's the fiery element. That's the fiery aspect. Keep going.
for the wicked are not plucked away.
For the wicked are not plucked away.
Verse 30. Reprobate silver shall men call them.
Reprobate silver shall men call them. So we call Jake reprobates. That's not even against the scriptures. The scripture says reprobate silver shall men call them. Why?
It says because the Lord have rejected them.
Because the Lord have rejected them. All right, so Jake is just nothing but worthless material, man. They're dross. They're worthless. Whenever you're building, you want to build with the best material possible. You want to have precise measurements.
Yep.
You want to make sure it has good upkeep, proper maintenance, and things of that nature. And it's contracted to what? Somebody that's actually credible. These Jakes, man. These Jakes is completely degenerates, man. You can't do nothing with them. It's best to get rid of them. And that's why they couple themselves with nothing but demons, man. Because they all of that particular ilk. You can finish that off with Jeremiah.
All right, this is Jeremiah 2. 2 and 21. Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed.
Yeah, so the Lord said he planted us a noble vine. Going back to Hosea 4 and 6. The word noble The word noble means to know. The Lord said he made us a noble bond, meaning we know better. Why? Because it's in our conscience. You should know better not to, you should know not to be a homosexual. You should know that homosexuality is wrong. You got homosexuals, they know that shit wrong.
Oh yeah, they'll tell you it's wrong.
They'll tell you it's wrong.
But then they'll say, but I know that God and Jesus knows my heart. And he's like, yeah, he knows your ass is a demon.
I've had homos tell me they know they living a life of sin.
Yeah,
They know it's wicked.
they know they are.
Because your spirit has a built-in conscience, man. That's what man was programmed with. The conscience of knowing and not knowing. Everybody has it but Esau. Well, really the other nations, that's why they known as the sons of the, they known as the dead.
They got it, but they just rebellious.
They just bugged out. Yeah, they're the base people. But really, Jake, man, Jake has the strongest conscience. Because we have the strongest spirit. You know better, man. Jake know better, but they don't want to do better. As the saying go, if you knew better, you do better. But see, Jake lives according to the conditions that they're in. You know, that's called what? Behavioral psychology. You see everybody becoming gay now, you want to become gay. If everybody's doing this particular drug, you're going to do it. Everybody knows how heroin reacts to your body. You damn near look like a skeleton. But individuals want to do it because they're amongst individuals that's doing it. You going?
It says, how then art thou turned into the degenerate
There
plant
go that word degenerate
of a
again.
strange bond unto me.
Of a foreign bond. And that's how you know Israelites became strangers, man. Of a strange bond. Gentiles. And how do you become a Gentile? By naturally kicking it with the Gentiles. Every time Jake would be amongst the nations, they want to stay with the nations.
Yep.
Jake wanted to go back. If they were left up to Jake would be in Egypt until this day.
He still be Egyptian.
Be Egyptians.
They would have
you'd be
swam back across.
Babylonians. You be Sodomites. Jake didn't want Sodom to be burned up.
After all those miracles.
After all those miracles, when Abraham and Lot was prophesying to free the Jake from Sodom, name how many Jakes left with Lot?
There wasn't no Jake back then. There wasn't no Jake back then.
Well, I'm just saying, and since Jake, you know, of course Israel, which it wasn't even Israel back then, but we know today as Jake. But how many of them actually left? Not one of them. When Noah was prophesying for that space of 100 years, building that big old ark, and he was telling Jake the truth, how many of them actually processed the information that got on the ark with them?
Right.
Not one of them. Simple as hell. Laughed at them. So even in today's time, 2019, going into 2020, all right, the year of Karagma, we're prophesying this truth. And how many Jakes want to leave Babylon? How many Jakes want to leave America, Egypt? All these different kingdoms amalgamated into one. Not many. That's why it says that even though Israel is as the sand of the sea, yet a small remnant shall be left unto.
Yeah, it says, for though thou wash thee with nitre and take thee much soap.
Yeah, we got the spiritual agents to give Jake the scrub down, man. We got the pressure washer, scrubbing Jake from head to toe. But the dirt seems like it ain't coming off. Or even if the dirt is coming off, what happens? Jake will flop their asses right back in it. That's why it tells you that in Peter.
Sal.
Then goes the salt back into the mire. Which the mire is not just dirt and mud, it's filled up with shit, piss.
Right.
That's the world, the stained, dirty world. But Jake loves this dirty world. Because what? Other individuals are wallowing right beside him. And they're in the same mud, and nobody else sees their dirt. They know how to, they have an act of covering up dirt. You going?
It says, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord.
Yeah, so the iniquity is the sin upon sin, transgressions, and sin before the Lord. Continue.
That was a point, but let me see. Yeah, that was a point.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to step down and talk about
I watched the camera.
Yeah, Isaiah. Because I'm going to land back off what Abad Barzal was preaching about, how these Jake be simple as hell and blind, man. Yeah, Isaiah 29:9.
This is chapter Isaiah, book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine.
See, they're drunken, but not with wine. All right, go ahead.
They stagger, but not with strong drink.
They stagger, but not with strong drink. You go ahead.
For the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
See, the Lord Yahweh has poured out the spirit of deep sleep. Get we was talking about earlier. Get 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 2. All right, so we read verse 10.
Verse 10. For the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
Yeah, he gave you a nice little dosage of deep sleep. Okay? That spiritual NyQuil for you, 2/3, man.
Damn Z-Quill.
Z-Quill, man. Take your ass to sleep. He doesn't want you to know this. Okay? So go ahead.
He have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers,
Yep.
the seers have he covered.
The seers have he covered, man. That's two. You can take that in two ways. He covered your eyes from actually getting to us, and he covered your eyes by who you follow in the first place. Get Jeremiah 23. Okay? You can go ahead and get that. 2 Corinthians 11.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy.
2 Corinthians 11 and 2.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 2.
Yeah, that's right.
For I am jealous over you.
Oh, no, that's not one. I'm tripping. What was that, 12? Where it says 10. Where simplicity will be outshot. You know what I'm talking about? Or it might be like 3. Yeah, verse 3. Select.
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety.
As the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety. All right? You 2/3, y'all easily manipulated into believing one thing or another. Go ahead.
So your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Mashiach.
That's right. Because what Yahweh Shai preached when you read about him in the Gospels, it wasn't nothing too complicated. But the things that were being said to individuals was going straight over their head like Nicodemus, man. You really think Yahweh Shai was talking about crawling them back up in your mama's vagina? No, man. It's like you being reborn in the spirit. It's not that hard to comprehend. You see, when Yahweh Shai was preaching on the scene, he was preaching the 10 Commandments. Honor thy mother and father. So on and so forth. Exodus, the 20th chapter. It's not hard to comprehend. But the simplicity of what he was preaching was so complex for Jake. Because they expected something that was like trigonometry. You know what I'm saying? It's such a mystery. Yes, it's a mystery, but it's not hard to comprehend, especially when the Spirit is with you.
Right.
But that's why the scriptures say what we just read in Isaiah 29, that y'all sleep. The Spirit ain't with you. Okay? The Spirit ain't with you. What did I tell you again?
Jeremiah chapter 2.
Reread Isaiah 29 and 10 again. You can drop 2 Corinthians and get go read that.
This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 10. For the Lord Yahweh have poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and he have closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers have he covered.
The seers have he covered. So the seers have he covered. So this is what we get with the seers today. TD fakes and Creflo bullshits. All right, go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
Woe meaning destruction, and the pastors meaning teachers. Woe unto them teachers who are teaching you lies and deceits and false doctrines, man. Those are the ones who are covering your eyes, all right? Because you're listening to it. But it's meant to be. Somebody got to be a part of Proverbs 16:4. Somebody. I don't want to be it. But 2/3 are. Somebody got to be a part of Zechariah, what it says in there in the 13th chapter. Somebody got to do it. I hope it ain't me. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord Yahweh. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh Shah of Israel against the pastors that feed my people.
Yeah. So against these ones who blind your eyes, all right, and deafen your ears to what is the true gospel, which means the true good news. All right, go ahead.
Ye have scattered my flock.
You scattered my flock. Go ahead.
And driven them away.
And driven them away. Usually a flock is a bunch of sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep can't defend themselves. So if you're scattering them every which way, you're leaving them susceptible to getting eaten by a wolf or something, man. All right, so woe unto you. But hey, you 2/3 would goddamn deserve it, man. All right, go ahead.
And have not visited them, behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings.
That's right. The evil of your doings. He's gonna shove that right back into your face. All right, to the pastors who lead these 2/3 blind Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans astray. He's gonna shove it right back into your face, man. For every idle word, you gotta take account. The scriptures say in Revelation the 3rd chapter that the whole world will be tried and judged. Well, you gotta stand up and explain to the Lord why you telling them this, that, and the third, and why you ain't telling them to get right. You gotta explain that. And your explanation is gonna be full of shit, so the Lord's gonna give you a missile.
Yeah, you can't say GMS is the fault.
You can't. All right, go ahead. Is that it on it?
He cursed. Yeah, said the Lord Yahweh.
You see? But you people want to listen to these what the scriptures say in the Antichrist should go into the lake of fire as well. Well, you listening to it. Antichrist just ain't one individual, it's multiple things. It's multiple. Anyone who's against Yahushua. And that's a lot, millions and billions upon billions who are against Yahushua. There's only a select few who are with them. That's the 144 and the elect 130. It ain't a lot. The 144 is the 1%. The 144 is the 1%. Okay? Those are the individuals who are showing themselves and proving themselves like the scriptures tell you to do. They're proving themselves why they're the 1% and why they're different from everybody else. You see? Go ahead. Bro.
Verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their foes, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
And they shall be fruitful and increase. But that's the remnant, man. You could go into the word remnant, means the leftovers. When you go into the word leftovers, it means the dregs. All right, a dregs is the residue of the bottom of a like a wine bottle. Okay, that's what's left, the residue. All right, the dregs is the elect 144, man. The ones who are left, the remnant. Those are the ransom of the Lord. Like get Isaiah 35, because we're gonna get the ransom of the Lord. I think it's Isaiah 35 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but we're gonna get back to these 2/3, man. All right. Because again, y'all one of the main reasons why we're in this predicament. Y'all wanted to consistently go off in the book of Exodus, fucking it up for everybody.
Yeah.
That's why the Lord had to do away with all y'all generation and start with somebody new. What's that? Joshua and Caleb. Joshua, Yahushua, meaning deliver, or the one who saves, and Caleb, Kalab, meaning loyal. Them two. Their names are fitting, but he had to get rid of y'all degenerates like Barzal was speaking about. He don't need y'all, man. I don't need that shit. It's just like having a woman who don't want to listen. A valuable woman is someone who understands what love is, and we understand according to what's that? The second book of John.
1 John 5:3.
No, I want to say second book of John, the 6th verse. Which says, and this is love, the keeping of the commandments.
Oh, yeah.
You see? A woman who don't keep the commandments is a piece of shit. Aren't we likened unto a delicate woman?
Yeah. We the real housewives of Atlanta.
We the no real talk.
Yeah. We are.
We're the woman to the Most High, and the women in the book of Exodus didn't want to listen. So he labeled him as a piece of shit. He got rid of all of them and started over with 2 individuals who he knew was going to be loyal. A valuable woman, or a woman according to Proverbs the 31st chapter.
Yeah, virtuous woman.
A virtuous woman, that's an individual who understands love. Do what I fucking say, man. That's valuable. That's something that's valuable. When you can have something that does every little thing you say. That's what the Lord is looking for. So even ask yourself, are you valuable or are you a piece of shit? Real, I'm gonna say 100. You gotta ask yourself that. Am I valuable to the Lord or am I a piece of shit because I don't listen and do what he asks? Or do I try the best of my ability to do what he asks? I may fall short of the glory, but I still try. But what? I understand Sirach the 17th chapter where it tells you to repent and offend less. I understand what it says in Matthew the 5th chapter, the 48th verse, where it tells you to be perfect as my Father is in heaven. Well, Sirach 17 is what's going to get me to reach perfection from learning from my mistakes and offending less. Just like he told the woman who committed adultery, I think in John 8. He said, what? Is there anyone else who's going to accuse you or condemn you? No. Well, I'm not going to do it either, so go and sin no more.
Sin no more.
Be perfect. So are you going to be valuable and listen to what the Lord said? Or a piece of shit? And these 2/3 are a piece of goddamn shit because they don't want to listen.
That's right.
You see? Go ahead, bro. Isaiah 35:10. We're going to go back into the elect, man. Now, who's the ransom of the Lord? A ransom is something that's bought back. The scripture saying Deuteronomy that ain't nobody else going to buy us back.
Yeah, redeem us. Yep.
Or redeem us, which is a buyback as well. Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah chapter 35, verse 10. And the ransom of the Lord Yahweh shall return.
The ransom of the Yahweh shall return. The ransom is like the booty or the spoil. This spoil is going to return back unto you. Go ahead.
And come to Zion.
And come to Zion, the monument. Go ahead.
With songs and everlasting joy.
With songs and everlasting joy. That reminds me of the book of Revelation in 2nd Ezra 13, where some came happy, mourning, crying, with palms in their hands. You see, we read verse 10 again.
And the ransom of the Lord Yahweh shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads.
Upon their heads. Everlasting joy upon their heads. Keep reading. Is that it on there? Go ahead.
They shall obtain joy and gladness.
They shall obtain joy and gladness, man. Not you 2/3 monkeys.
Yeah, because that's why scripture say what? We're laboring for that. Our labor of love towards that rest.
That's right.
That's what that's going into that rest we're gonna get.
That's beautiful, bro. Matter of fact, someone can hold that. Hebrews 4:11. All right, keep going.
And sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
That's right.
Sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Them tears gonna be wiped dry, man. We're gonna be happy, man. You can only imagine that right
Happy feeling.
now. I was listening to that song the other day. That's gonna be every day. Us in the kingdom.
Always.
Skibbity-doo-dah and some lilies. And Yahweh's favorite flower, man.
Yep.
Go ahead, bro. What's your precept?
It's Revelation chapter 21, verse 4.
Okay, come. That's going into the kingdom. Yep.
And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
That's a beautiful thing, man. All tears from their eyes. Hold, someone.
So really, through the Spirit, you brothers supposed to be crying.
Yeah, see. Yeah. Weeping. Hey, Matthew 5. Matthew 5. But go ahead, bro.
And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
That's right.
And there shall be no more death.
No more death.
Neither.
No more death because we gonna conquer it. No more death because through the Yahweh shot Romans 6, man. Oh my gosh. Romans the 6th chapter. Matter of fact, get Romans 6, man. You drop all that. Hold what you got in Revelation 21. Get Romans 6. Start from the top.
Okay, come. Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Yahweh forbid.
Hey, you see that? That's how 2/3 act. Well, we got grace, so I'm still doing whatever the fuck we want. Fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
So we continue to sin because when we keep sinning, we're gonna keep getting grace. It don't work like that, man. Keep going. That's why it says, God forbid, meaning hell, the fuck no.
Sometimes you got to pay that bill.
Exactly. Right? Sometimes you gotta pay that bill. They'll give you a little leeway, but then they're gonna come to your doorstep and be like, what's up, man? Before I start repoing your shit and repossessing everything. Go ahead. And hey, you know what? Fuck it. Because that's what the Lord's gonna do. He's gonna repossess you 2/3 Israelites spirits.
That's right.
Since you wanna fuck around.
They did a movie on that. Remember Repo Man?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he
with Michael Blackson.
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of.
You talking about
I was thinking of.
You thinking Repos? I think Repo Man was the one where like they would give you like if you needed a heart,
a heart
or whatever, they would give you a heart and they would give you had to pay on it. But if you couldn't pay on it,
And they would send the repo man, they come take that shit back from you.
Yeah, they'll kill you. You shoot it and take it out the chest.
Take the heart back.
Crazy. I didn't watch that.
Yeah, that's tough.
But you see, the Lord's gonna repossess y'all spirit because y'all wanna fuck around. Because y'all ain't paid that tab. Y'all ain't paid that bill. The men of the Lord are paying that bill, man. When that cup of indignation that I speak about in Revelation 14, we sipping on that slowly. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because we going through our Micah 7. Get that. That word was it I know what you're talking about, Apostle Gabar.
I would bear the-
7
Bear the
and
burden.
10.
Yep. They bear the indignation. There you go. The water, brothers. That's the spirit. Because we drinking it.
The cup shall surely pass to thee.
That's right. What he said that to the sons of Zebedee, John and James. And look what happened to him. James got smoked by King Herod, by the sword, and John
Got beheaded.
got beheaded and was in the island of Patmos at an old age.
Oh, Salaki.
You see, he was in the island of Patmos at an old age. They drank of the cup. They said, you will drink of this cup. Not maybe, no, you will. So we drinking the cup right now. We're drinking that indignation. But they gonna have to take it straight to the head.
Chug.
They gonna have to take that straight to the head with no mixture. See, that's the spirit. I'm speaking as a man, we get a mixture. Because we get the comfort. We got John 14.
Some chaser.
We got the chaser. We got John 14. We got 2 Corinthians, the first chapter. We got the comfort. We got men who have been comforting us.
What most Jay gonna have to drink is it's a very expensive drink called a Lake of Fire.
There you go. They gonna
Top
gulp
shelf, you
that
know?
shit all the way down too. But the Lord's gonna repossess y'all spirits, man. He's gonna repossess y'all spirit. Repo man. Come repossess that because you want to fuck around with it. This truth ain't nothing to mess around with. This is serious.
That's right.
This is serious business, man.
That's right.
All right, go ahead, read that real quick.
Micah chapter 7, verse, I'm starting at 8. Rejoice not against me, O my enemy, when I fall. I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, the Lord should be a light unto me. Verse 9, I will bear the indignation of the Lord.
I will bear the indignation of the Lord, man. Go ahead.
Because I have sinned against him.
Ooh, okay. Because I sinned against him. Hold that. This is spirit. Get Lamentations chapter 3 and 42. Because we going to get it. Because yes, we did sin. You still holding Jeremiah 15 and 1? Yeah, read that real quick while he gets Lamentations.
Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people.
Because y'all a piece of shit. Because y'all don't want to listen, man. Yeah, I gotta say it like that. Because y'all don't want to listen. He can't. I don't want to look at y'all no more. I don't want to deal with y'all. I gave you Moses, who gave you the law, and I gave you Samuel.
Yeah, because back in Samuel time, we was looking for a prophet. We was greedy for a prophet. Eli, the high priest, and before the judges came into play. No, judges were the seers of us in that time, but the prophet though, that's the man that we needed. Though.
Yeah, because they weren't necessarily, this is what's going to happen in the near future. They were just delivering us.
Yep.
Exactly.
The prophets, they also
Guys, I'm not sure if you know, but the biggest Africans, this one, to make his own fucking job over there, man. Like, why y'all trying to beat them so bad? Like, it's his own fucking job, man.
Right. You have a good one. You should drive along. Jake always want to
Speak this is why the Lord don't fuck with me.
Well, they had liberty to get.
I don't know what he was trying to say. Was he trying to say like?
Why we trying to imitate something that we're not? That's what he's really saying. Like
He said the Jews over there don't fuck with us.
As they shouldn't.
As they should. We don't fuck with them. Right.
Matter of fact, somebody get that in Revelation 2 and 9, man.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9.
That's 2 was 9, yeah.
I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
Yeah, we know that this is really talking about fake Israelites, but we use this to talk to those Jew rats over there. Like we're not concerned with them.
all this talk about what the Israelites in America are doing, where is this great Rabbi Rat, you know, that's gonna stand bold for those people? There's nobody standing up for them Khazars because they're exposed, man. So what is he talking about? Like, nigga, you are like 5 years too late, man. Too late and $1 too short, man. Go drive your car, go crash it, go ahead and enjoy your Saturday, man. Everybody want to be smart, man.
Right. That goes back to what the officer was saying, man. Jacob's being fucking stupid. You know, man, this is the altar of the Lord, and in 3 times we had 3 instances where the nigga just come up and say stupid ass shit. You get a mark for that, man.
Okay, well, get Malachi 1 and 7. I'm gonna land back on what I just said. Get Malachi 1 and 7 real quick, because they don't understand.
And that's cowardly too.
Very cowardly.
Because they don't know how. Like Jake is.
Go park your car and let's do.
Yeah, go park your car and it's built. But again, Jake is very cowardly. He want to say his word, and then he want to rev the RPMs up, man.
Exactly.
Get the hell out of Dodge. All right.
Get Malachi 1 and 7.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 7. Ye offer polluted bread upon my altar.
You see, when they come drive by and they talk they bullshit, and they talk get Matthew chapter 18 and 10.
Yeah, because he could have simply gave a glass of cold water
and got a prophet's reward. Yep. But they don't understand. You see, exactly. Mark. All right, keep reading.
It was sealed.
Got a big ass red mark.
And ye say, wherein have we polluted thee? And that ye say the table of the Lord is contemptible.
There you go. Read Matthew. Hold that. Read Matthew chapter 18 and 10. Because these dudes don't understand, man. They don't understand who they're talking to, who they're driving past. Okay? This man up here could very well be of the elect.
But you know what? It doesn't even matter if none of us are part of the elect. He's still speaking out against the words of the Heavenly Father. So
Exactly.
he got to pay for that, because again, the scriptures say what in Romans 3 and 3, what? 3 through 4, that what? Let every man be a liar and let the Most High be true, man. So he's speaking out, and he was trying to throw the spirit of the Lord off.
Yeah, ain't gonna make the faith of the Most High.
Yeah, that's on him, man.
And you gotta take account of every idle word, man.
That's right.
So go ahead.
That's right.
It's Matthew chapter 18, verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones.
All right, so hold that. It says, take heed that you despise not one of these little ones. Okay? Even going, like it says in the book of Philippians, I'm not counting ourselves as of that number. Or I'm not counting myself as apprehended. All right, meaning being of the elect. But hey, these are prophets of you. All right? These are prophets that you're speaking to, that you're slandering. It says, do not despise any of these little ones. When you go into the word despise, it means to disdain. All right? Reread Malachi 1 and 7.
Malachi chapter 1 verse 7. Ye offer polluted bread upon my altar, and ye say, wherein have we polluted?
Wherein have what did I say that was so offensive? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. When his ass is on the local news on Monday.
And that ye say,
and he's going to get a flashback of what he did today, because that's, God dang it. Get 2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 37. Okay, but keep going, brother.
It says, and that ye say the table of the Lord is contemptible.
That the table of the Lord is contemptible. You go into the word contemptible, it means of disdain. So when you go into that word despise in Matthew 18 and 10, it means to disdain. Despise means to disdain the little ones, or the prophets, or the little ones, really speaking about the elect. You're offering up a polluted sacrifice unto the Lord, because this is an altar that you just spoke in front of. That was your sacrifice. That was your sacrifice to us just now. And you just disdained and said the table of the Lord is contemptible. You say the table of the Lord is of disdain. And you said these men up here are of disdain. You despise us because you want to talk to shit and your expensive ass piece of shit. All right? And like it says, rev your RPMs up down the fucking street. And all you had to do was either give a prophet's reward, which is a water, or shut the fuck up.
Right.
And get your ass up the goddamn street.
Don't think that good nor bad.
But now your ass got marked and the death angel is on your ass.
Somebody saying something?
Yeah,
The
goofy.
death angel is on your ass now, man. Get second Ezra 13 and 37, because this is what's gonna happen to him. We gonna prophesy it. Go ahead.
Second Ezra chapter 13, verse 37.
That's right.
And this my son shall rebuke the wicked and bitches of
That's
those
right.
nations.
That's when Yahushua comes back and destroys all these weapons and things, like it tells you in the book of Micah, the 4th chapter. Go ahead.
Which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest,
Which is the laser beams that is spoken of earlier in that chapter. Go ahead.
and shall lay before them their evil thoughts.
What? It shall lay before them their evil thoughts. So right before he's going to get smoked, or in the process of him getting smoked, he's going to remember what the fuck he said to us when he drove past. That's right. I should have never did that. Well, now the Lord is tearing your ass up. Probably getting burned alive, drowning,
famine,
falling off a building like that video we saw. The whole time he's falling. Fuck, man, I shouldn't have said that. God damn, man. I wouldn't have been in this predicament, and the Lord's gonna make a flashback of what he said. Whatever nonsense he was talking about,
Put that nigga in his face.
his words were discombobulated as hell. Like, what the hell is you saying, bro?
Might stop him in the air. Then they gonna fall.
I know, right? And he's gonna be falling the whole way. He's gonna be falling. The Lord gonna. Hey, there's a song called My Mind Playing Tricks on It. The Lord's gonna drop his ass, and right before he's about an inch from splattering, the Lord's gonna stop him. And the Lord may put Psalms 91 in his head, being like, oh, the angels, I'm paraphrasing, the angels are gonna stop you from dashing that, foot on the ground or whatnot. He's like, oh man. Then the Lord's gonna be like, I'm playing with you. This is exactly this is what's happening to you right now, because you did this. An inch off the ground, and he still splatters from an inch fall, because the Lord can do whatever he wants, man. You better be very careful. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. All right, is that it on that? All right.
It shall lay before them their evil thoughts, and the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented.
Woo! They're gonna be tormented, man. That is a part of the sting of death that's spoken about in Corinthians, the 15th chapter, 1 Corinthians 15. Getting tormented in your mind for the bullshit that you did prior. Get Romans 2 and 6 real quick. Matter of fact, get Romans 2 and 5. You about to say something? Go ahead, bro.
Which are like unto a flame.
Which are like unto a flame. Hot, burning. It hurt, man. Man, it hurt to think about. But before I was in the truth, the bullshit I was doing. That's torment itself. But good thing we got the Comforter, and good thing we got what Paul said in Philippians 3, forgetting those things which were before and looking forward to the mark, the prize of Yahushua, the high calling of Yahushua and Mashiach. I'm glad I got that scripture. You see, hold that, read Romans 2 and 5.
Romans chapter 2, verse 5. But after thy hardness and impotent heart,
that asshole who drove past saying bullshit, his hardness, meaning his stubbornness, because I guarantee you, even if he did park somewhere and came up and tried to have a dialogue with us, he would have been stubborn as hell. Go ahead.
treasure it up unto thyself wrath against the day of wrath.
He treasure of wrath in the day of wrath, man.
Hey, so that's anonymous with Colossians chapter 3.
That's right.
He treasures up in heaven.
That's right. See,
so 2/3 and stacking up their treasure for wrath.
There you go, man. That's the opposite.
Well, it is not a treasure, yeah. It's fool's gold.
We treasure up the things that are stored in heaven. We understand that these things here. Hey, yeah, the dreams. The word dreams means an illusion. All right? Or something that's not real. That's why you have Sirach 34, the 34th chapter, talking about anyone who believes in a dream is a fool. You see? They believe in this American dream, man. This American dream.
My mama told me I was gonna be
They
somebody
believe in this bitter illusion. That's what they believe in. This bitter illusion. Okay? That they always chasing. Reread verse 5.
Romans chapter 2, verse 5. But after thy hardness and impotent heart treasured up unto thyself wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of Yahweh.
All right, keep reading to verse 6. So that's what he's throwing up. Keep reading verse 6.
Who will render to every man according to his deeds.
Who will render to every man according to his deeds. For that little simple ass 30-second deed that you just committed, it's probably less than that.
Right.
For a 5-second deed.
The glory in his mind that he want to have.
Yep.
Rolling down the street.
Yep.
He got to pay.
Probably a bitch on the other
He
side.
got to pay the goddamn price.
Jake always gonna be smart when it's a hole in the car.
Yeah.
You probably got cussed out by somebody down the street.
Hey, you want to know what's real talk? He was already probably slated for destruction. It just solidified it right there.
He might die this week.
It just solidified it. Get Romans chapter 3 verse 19. It solidified it. Because no man is guilty. Get Job, no one dies innocent.
With the vampire?
You know what I'm talking about? I think it's like Job 4 or Job 3. Where is that? No one dies innocent. Job, is that 4? Yeah, find that, Kyle.
No one that perished.
Yeah, dies innocent. Go ahead. I think it's Job 3. Yeah, get that. Read Job 4 and 7 real quick.
This is Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent.
Whoever perished being innocent. All right, so hold that. Read Romans chapter 3 and 19 real quick.
Romans chapter 3, verse 19. Now we know that what things soever the law saith is said to them who are under the law.
That's right.
That every mouth may be stopped and all the world may be guilty before Yahweh.
All the world may be guilty before Yahweh. Now we understand according to what Romans 6 that we're not under the law, right? Give me Romans chapter 2 and 13 real quick. I want to say, well, yeah, 2 and 13. Let me see what that says.
Romans chapter 2, verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before Yahweh, but the doers of the law should be justified.
Keep going.
For when the Gentiles,
all right, ones who don't know they're Israelites, we're just gonna simply just do a synopsis of that word like that. Go ahead.
Which have not the law,
go ahead.
Do by nature the things contained in the law.
Do by nature the things contained in the law, meaning that's an inclination. The word inclination means a natural tendency to do something. Go ahead.
These having not the law are a law unto themselves.
A law unto themselves. Reread Romans chapter 3 and 19. And the point is at the end. Because if they're a law unto themselves, then motherfucker, you ain't guilty. You gotta pay the goddamn price. Go ahead.
Now we know that what things soever the law saith, is said to them who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped and all the world may become guilty before Yahweh.
Playboy, you guilty. Go up the street.
Well, ever since Mount Sinai.
Playboy.
All Israel is still under that banner. Like it says in King Solomon, Ecclesiastes 12, the whole duty of man is what? To commit himself unto the Lord.
That's right, bro. Perfectly put. Reread Job. That's perfectly put. Everybody, that's your number one thing. To follow the laws and statutes and commandments to the best of your ability and fear the Most High. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Job chapter 4, verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished.
All right. He said, remember this. All right, so law is just in
I
your
beg
head.
you.
Listen, boy. Go ahead.
I pray
Listen, boy.
I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent.
Whoever perished being innocent.
Or where were the righteous cut off?
Everybody guilty in the eyes of the Lord.
That started from Adam too.
Yep.
The malignity of the heart, that's still embedded in us. But the elect is saved out of it.
That's right. Revelation 14 and 4.
No law, no flesh should be saved by the law.
Yeah, yep. Justified.
You're not justified.
Go ahead.
Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same.
Reap what you sow, man. You want to talk bullshit? The Lord, like we read in Romans 2 and 6, who renders to every man according to his deeds, is going to get you bullshit. All right?
Law of attraction.
Yep. what we had earlier, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 5 and 15. Can't tell him shit.
1 Thessalonians. He ain't listening.
You're not even listening.
He's so busy getting that glory of the world.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man.
See that none render evil for evil to any man. Now it may seem because he wants to talk some smack, or any individual want to talk smack to the prophets, that we be like, man, they're gonna die, you know what I'm saying? Send curses on them. We actually showing you mercy, putting you out of your misery. That's showing mercy. We actually extending you love.
Right.
I was talking. Go ahead.
Or be left here starving by famine, dying by famine.
Me and this brother Shamar, we was talking earlier up there. The judgment of the Lord is an oxymoron. Whenever you read that all Israel should be saved, that is a big oxymoron. That's an icy hot. Yeah, they're gonna be saved. Yeah, they're gonna live eternal life. Yeah, they're gonna be living good in the kingdom. But you gotta catch a missile first.
You gotta go through
But you gotta go through the
tip in the hell.
That's 2 Ezra's 9th chapter.
You gotta go.
Daniel 12.
You gotta go through Jacob's struggle. You gotta go through your family. You
To
gotta
know
go
it
through your
after death.
pessimist. You gotta go through getting raped, robbed, and murdered again, but on a high level. All right. You gotta go and get it. Yep. You're gonna receive shame according to Daniel 12. It's an oxymoron, but it's still mercy. So whenever a dude is talking hot shit and we're talking like that, we're extending love. We're not rendering evil for evil. We aren't. Even though you want to talk that shit, that's fine. We're not rendering you evil for evil.
But it's the sword. He came with his.
He came with his, and we just cut it down. And now we're giving you the judgment. All right, keep going. Because it's going to tell us to do something as well. Get Psalms chapter 37 and Psalms chapter 37, I want to say like verse 20.
That wasn't
Go.
good, man.
Verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men.
That's right. Reread that. Read verse
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good.
But ever follow which that is good. Hold that. Get 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Because it says, follow that which is good. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach.
There you go. Yahweh Shai Mashiach showed us the right path. He showed us the good path. All right? He showed us the good way. So that's what we are to follow. Reread 1 Thessalonians 5 and 15. All right, you still got, what you call it?
Yeah, Psalm chapter 37.
Read Psalm 37 while you listen.
Psalm chapter 37, verse 27. Depart from evil and do good.
Yeah. Depart from evil and do good. Keep going.
And dwell forevermore.
And dwell forevermore. Now go to the next chapter. I want to say it's like verse 13. Verse 20.
Psalm chapter 38, verse 20. They also that render evil for good are my adversaries.
Are mine adversaries. So if you're rendering evil for evil, you're an adversary. You're Satan, damn it. All right? You're Satan. If you want to render evil for evil, get Romans, what's that, chapter 12? Chapter 12, verse, I want to say like 9. I think. See what that says. Get Romans chapter 12. Yeah. Hold this. And get Romans 12 and 9. Reread that in Psalms. Oh, it's fine. Get Proverbs chapter 17 and 13.
All right, that's heavy you said that though, because a lot of times somebody might get oppressed, and You know, say for instance you're oppressed by like a particular government, and after you rule over a people, you end up doing the exact same thing that the oppressor does. Whereas that's like you said, rendering evil for evil. You know, and of course you got vengeance, but it's one thing, like say for instance the so-called white man, you know, committed adultery, you know, stole this, that, and the other, committed broke laws that was according to the Bible. You don't go against biblical doctrine in order to pay that man back. You see, you still have to stay among the, you have to facilitate yourself amongst the spirit of the Lord and do everything in righteousness, man. That's how you fight good with evil. You see, stand in the spirit instead of going according to your own mentality, trying to recompense something to somebody. That's why it says what? Judgment or vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Man, that's it.
This is Romans chapter 12, verse 17.
Yeah, Proverbs 17.
Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Romans chapter 12, verse 17. Recompense to no man evil for evil.
Meaning pay back no man evil for evil. That's the same thing Thessalonians, I was going to say Thessalonians. Thessalonians are saying, render not evil for evil. Go ahead.
Provide things honest in the sight of all men.
That's doing good. You see? That's doing good. Yeah. That's doing good to all. You said all men?
All men.
That's doing good to all men. Keep reading.
If it be possible.
If it be possible.
If it be possible.
Go ahead.
As much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Live peaceably.
All that lieth in you.
That, I swear. It's hard,
It's hard.
but do it, man. Read Proverbs 17.
So you just gotta walk away.
That's the best way. Hey, I was talking to a brother, hey, what's the best way to honor your mother and father? Leave them alone.
Staying away from them.
Staying away.
Keeping a distance.
I was telling you that? Yeah, just keep them distance. Go ahead.
I was thinking that, I was meditating on that same thing this week.
This is Proverbs 17, verse 13.
We know what father and mother we to honor. We say it before we open camp and before we open any of our videos. Double honors to the apostles and elders. Those are our spiritual fathers, man. Those are the ones who have traveled. And that's what we learn from and get the experience from. You can drop Thessalonians, just real quick, I'm sidetracking. Get 2 Ezra 13 and 55. Hold that. 2 Ezra 13 and 55. Because we understand who our spiritual fathers are. What's the mother? Go ahead.
In 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 55. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother.
There you go. All right, so let's get back on topic. Get Proverbs 17 and 13.
This is Proverbs 17, verse 13. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house.
There you go. Whoever render evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. Who's that remind you of? King Saul. King David didn't do shit to him.
Right.
He didn't do nothing. But he wanted to throw 2 javelins at him and seek his life. But you know, David hit him with the, you know what I'm saying?
Football juke.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit probably went through the garment.
The juke stick.